Chapter 688. The devil race had been wreaking havoc in the southern wasteland for some years. Previously, they had colluded with the Een demon lineage and even controlled some fierce beasts. According to the speed of the devil race, they should have attacked the demon-suppressing city long ago. But until now, there were no traces of the devil race or devil cultivator here. There were only a few devil cultivators scouting for information in the demon-suppressing city. It seemed that the devil race's goal was not to sweep through the southern wasteland. Wang Daoyuan still knew too little about the southern wasteland and was unable to determine what the devil race wanted to do. Since that's the case, I won't stay here for long. If you have news of the devil race or devil cultivator, send a message to the demon-suppressing city. The demon-suppressing city had a large array formation that could transmit information to the treasure cauldron mountain. The refined corpse hurriedly replied, "Dao Yu, don't worry. Senior Lei Yan placed me here to deal with the devil race and devil cultivator. Once I encounter the devil race, I definitely won't let them go." Wang Daoyuan said a few more words and left the Immortal Ascension Valley. He thought to himself, this 10,000 corpse Taoist really played with the doppelganger soul nurturing technique to the point of being able to use small divine abilities to make up for the flaws of spells. Previously in Shanbei, when the refined corpse he controlled died in battle, he did not show any abnormalities. It seemed that he could already use the doppelganger soul nurturing technique to repair the damage to his soul. None of these older cultivators were simple. Especially these cultivators with small divine abilities, they could not be underestimated. On the other hand, his use of small divine abilities was very shallow. Until now, he had only used small divine abilities to control the attribute of spiritual energy. He had not studied the effects of combining it with spells. There were gains and losses. Putting all his energy into cultivation, his cultivation improved very quickly. Without understanding the devil race's intentions, Wang Daoyuan was a little worried. The devil race was also very crafty. He did not want to be killed by them if he participated in the battle now. He still had to catch a live one and refine it into a clone to see what the devil race was up to. There were devil cultivators monitoring the vicinity of the demon-suppressing city. He could go there to try his luck. Wang Daoyuan hid his figure and headed east. The spiritual energy in the southern wasteland was too violent. The soul-chasing bees could not withstand the spiritual energy here at all. He could only rely on himself to investigate. He came to the demon-suppressing city and 5,000 kilometers to the south. This was a place where devil cultivators often appeared. In his sea of consciousness, a mysterious rune was formed. It looked like an eye, and it emitted rays of light. This was precisely the heaven-prying eye, and under its support, his divine sense easily detected the situation within a radius of 600 kilometers. For the time being, there were no demons in the vicinity. In order to avoid being discovered, Wang Daoyuan did not search around. He only found a crack in the rock and hid inside, waiting for the opportunity to strike. After waiting for 3 days, a middle-stage gold-core devil cultivator appeared within the range of his divine sense. This fellow was small and skinny, and his blood energy fluctuations were very weak. He was not even as strong as a human cultivator. It seemed like they were from the Een demon tribe. Then there was no problem. As long as they were from the Een demon tribe, they all deserved to be killed. This person was more than 500 kilometers south of him, and was flying towards him. Wang Daoyuan withdrew his divine sense, so as not to alarm this guy. Soon, the demonic cultivator arrived at a place more than 15 kilometers away from Wang Daoyuan. He did not discover anything, and was still flying several meters in the air. Wang Daoyuan did not wait any longer, and directly used the Black Tortoise Purgatory. 100-meter-wide ball of fire enveloped the demonic cultivator. The Gui Water Death Flame was extremely effective against the Een demon tribe. After all, most of their strength came from their divine sense. However, the Gui Water Death Flame could burn the power of divine sense. Once trapped in the Black Tortoise Purgatory, no matter how strong one's divine sense was, it would be useless. Sure enough, the demonic cultivator used his divine sense to form a long sword and slashed at the Black Tortoise Purgatory. Unfortunately, before it could touch the walls of the purgatory, it was burned to ashes. Wang Daoyuan shrank the Black Tortoise Purgatory, and the demonic cultivator panicked. Summoning a magic long sword, the demonic cultivator surged with spiritual energy and slashed at the Black Tortoise Purgatory. However, the Black Tortoise Purgatory did not even shake. With Wang Daoyuan's current strength, even if he trapped a first-rate gold core like the long-legged prince in the Black Tortoise Purgatory, he would not be able to escape. Moreover, this demonic cultivator was only a mid-stage gold core cultivator and was not known for his spiritual energy or physical strength. Wang Daoyuan did not want to waste time with him. If the demonic cultivator self-destructed his gold core in despair, he would suffer a great loss. The 5 artifacts formed the 5 elements demon subduing seal and flew toward the Black Tortoise Purgatory. The suppressive force enveloped the demonic cultivator in the purgatory, causing his spiritual energy and divine sense to be unable to circulate smoothly. It was impossible for him to self-destruct his gold core now. Wang Daoyuan drew out a wisp of Gue water death flame from the Black Tortoise Purgatory and burned it between the demonic cultivator's eyebrows. The demonic cultivator did not accept his fate and continued to struggle. His bit of strength was really not enough to look at. The Black Tortoise Purgatory quickly shrank to the size of a person and tightly wrapped around him. The 5 elements demon subduing seal also pressed down on his body. He could not move at all and his spiritual energy was almost completely restricted. He could only rely on his divine sense to resist the Gue water death flame. However, this thing was only a kind of fuel to the Gue water death flame. The black flame quickly poured into his spiritual sea. His entire purple mansion was enveloped by the black flame and his divine sense lost control of his body. Wang Daoyuan formed the soul-splitting blade and attacked between the demonic cultivator's eyebrows. His divine sense was extremely strong. He was the only one who could suppress the sect masters of the 4 top forces in all aspects. The demonic cultivator in front of him could not resist at all. This guy's purple mansion phenomenon was not bad. It was a ghost-eyed fox. This thing could be considered a divine beast bloodline of the 9-tailed fox lineage. It was especially good at divine sense attacks. However, the purple mansion did not last long under the soul-splitting blade. A hole was opened in it. The soul-splitting blade touched the demonic cultivator's divine sense and he quickly fainted. Wang Daoyuan took out a split soul and inserted it into the demonic cultivator's spiritual sea. Then, he put the demonic cultivator into the spiritual pearl space and hid in the rock crack again. 2 days later, the split soul had merged with the demonic cultivator's divine sense. Wang Daoyuan began to pry into his memories. This person was called Chen Jiaoyi and was from a demonic cultivator clan. However, his clan was of the blood demon lineage. His innate physical body was not strong and could not cultivate the blood demon lineage. He could only choose to cultivate the Yin demon lineage. When he cultivated to the Purple Mansion realm, his clan was already destroyed and he became an itinerant cultivator. Relying on his divine sense attacks, he killed ferocious beasts and sold them to the demonic cultivator market in exchange for cultivation resources. He relied on his own strength to cultivate to the Golden Core realm. In the past few decades, the demonic cultivators were also greatly affected by the turmoil of the demonic cultivators. The blood demons still thought of themselves as humans and could not live under the same sky as the demonic cultivators. However, the Yin demons were usually enemies with humans. He could not stay in the demonic cultivator market any longer and decided to join the demonic cultivators. After joining the demonic cultivators, he was stationed at the westernmost point of the demon-resisting mountain. Together with a few demonic cultivators, he monitored the situation in the demon-suppressing city. However, Chen Jiaoyi's position was not high. He only knew that the demonic cultivators gathered in the Sky Devil Valley in the middle of the demon-resisting mountain. They ordered the demonic cultivators who came to join them to kill ferocious beasts and blood demons and deliver them to the Sky Devil Valley. He did not know what they were used for. This information was leaked out by his leader when they were chatting. The demonic cultivators wanted to cause trouble, but they stayed in the Sky Devil Valley. They were definitely plotting something. He knew very little about the demonic cultivators and was unfamiliar with the Sky Devil Valley. He could not analyze the situation. He had to report this matter to his master. The Divine Weapon Pavilion and the Tai Sword Sect had interacted with the demonic cultivators for tens of thousands of years. They should know a lot of information. He immediately returned to the demon-suppressing city. The cultivators on the treasured Cauldron Mountain had already arrived. Behind him, the Golden Iron Mountain was also setting up a large formation. Wang Daoyuan arrived at the main hall of the city. Lei Yan and a few half-step Yuanian cultivators were discussing matters here. He walked into the hall, bowed to everyone, and went straight to the point. This disciple caught a demonic cultivator while scouting outside. After a soul search, I learned that the demonic cultivators are currently gathering in the Sky Devil Valley. I also ordered the demonic cultivators who joined us to kill ferocious beasts and blood demons and deliver them over. Hearing this, everyone's expressions changed. Chapter 689. Taoist Cloud's word of the Tai sword sect sucked in a breath of cold air. Sky Devil Valley is a terrible place. The demonic turmoil 10,000 years ago was caused by Sky Devil Valley. Wang Daoyuan was shocked to hear this. During the demonic turmoil 10,000 years ago, the human forces suffered heavy casualties. The remaining Yuanian cultivators of the human race were all killed in the war, which barely quelled the turmoil. Since then, the human race's strength had been greatly reduced and they were suppressed by the demon race. However, he was still unclear about the situation in Sky Devil Valley. He asked Taoist Thunderflame, "Master, what is the origin of this Sky Devil Valley? How could it cause such a great turmoil?" Taoist Thunderflame's expression was grave. Sky Devil Valley was the main battlefield of the Great War. Many high-level demons died here. The rest of the demon race also collected demon corpses and buried them in Sky Devil Valley. It could be said that this place was the demon race's graveyard. The demonic aura in Sky Devil Valley was so strong that any human cultivator who approached would be disturbed by it. Some cultivators with weaker willpower would even go mad. Some demons used the demonic aura to defend Sky Devil Valley. The great elders of the past set up a great formation to suppress the demonic aura. Not all of the demons from that time died. Some were hidden deep under Sky Devil Valley, and the great elders of the past didn't have the time to eliminate them. The turmoil 10,000 years ago was caused by some demons using a secret blood sacrifice to create a hole in the formation, releasing many Yuanian demons. Now that 10,000 years have passed, I'm the only Yuanian cultivator in the entire Beiyuan Xueqi. If the demons release more Yuanian demons, we won't be able to resist. Taoist Cloud Crane hurriedly asked, "Daoyuan, can you confirm how many beasts and demon corpses the demons have collected?" Wang Daoyuan shook his head. The demon cultivator I took down was just a small fry. He only heard about the demons in Sky Devil Valley when he was chatting with others, so he didn't know the details. Master Lei Yen stood up. Although Sky Devil Valley's array has been repaired, it's still not as good as before. It's hard for it to last another 30 years. If the demons really summon a few more Yuanian demons from the Heavenly Devil Valley, it will be very difficult for us to take them down. If we lose, the entire Beiyuan Xueqi will be in danger of being destroyed. Then he took out a map. This is the map of the demon-resisting mountain. Let's discuss our countermeasures. To be on the safe side, we should first check to see if any of you have been manipulated by the demon race. After discussing the plan, everyone will use a secret technique to protect this memory so that the demons won't know about it. Immortal Cloud Crane then took out a silver circular mirror. This mirror was only the size of a palm, and its frame and back were engraved with divine beast patterns. Immortal Cloud Crane smiled. This is the 100 Beasts mirror. It used to be a 7th grade magical item. During the refining process, the souls of over 100 different kinds of divine beasts were fused into it. It had a strong deterrent effect on the demon race. Low-level demons would be scared out of their wits if they were to be shown on by this mirror. Although it has fallen to the 4th grade now, demons and cultivators who practice the demon race's cultivation methods will never be able to hide from the 100 Beasts mirror. Wang Daoyuan put away the Black Devil's robe and stood in front of Immortal Cloud Crane. Immortal Cloud Crane injected his spiritual energy into the mirror, and the divine beast patterns on the mirror seemed to come alive, exuding the might of divine beasts. If a demon were to be under this mirror, they would probably be scared out of their wits. The mirror also emitted a white light that shone on Wang Daoyuan's body. Some black smoke appeared on his body, but it quickly dissipated as soon as it touched the surface of his body. Immortal Cloud Crane nodded and then began to shine the mirror on the others. There were only a few people in the hall to begin with, so they were soon checked and found that there was no problem. After everyone checked the map with their spiritual sense, Immortal Cloud's word said, although the information brought back by Daoyuan indicates that the demon race is likely to be targeting the Heavenly Devil Valley, we can't rule out other possibilities. In case the Yuanian demons appear in other places, they might want to use the Heavenly Devil Valley as bait to lure us in and kill us in one fell swoop. The demon race isn't as stupid as the monster race, they can also set up formations. If we go there rashly, we may be ambushed. The others nodded in agreement. The demon race's innate intelligence was not inferior to that of the human race, and they had many methods similar to the 100 arts of immortal cultivation. If they were to storm the heavenly Devil Valley, they would definitely suffer great losses. While everyone was at a loss, Immortal Cloud Flame asked, "What do you think, Beiyuan? We may not be young and have rich experience in combat, but we've never had two armies face off like this. When the Zhao clan was reinstated, you commanded their forces and swept the north of the myriad rivers. In this regard, you're stronger than us. How do you think we should fight?" Wang Daoyuan thought for a while and said, "There's a saying in the art of war, don't attack a dignified formation without the banner of righteousness. The demon race has already set up defenses in the heavenly Devil Valley, namely the banner of righteousness and the formation of dignified formation. If we storm the place, we'll be violating a military taboo. Even if we win, we'll suffer heavy casualties. At that time, I'm afraid the monster race will take advantage of us. But we don't know how long it'll take for the demon race to break the formation of the heavenly Devil Valley. If it's quickly broken, I'm afraid we'll have to storm the place. If it's still early, we can play with the demon race." Immortal Cloud Crane replied, "The demon race has begun to tamper with the formation of the heavenly Devil Valley recently. 10,000 years ago, it took the Devil race more than 30 years to break the array. Although the formation is not as good as it used to be, the demon race has less resources. Conservatively speaking, it'll take 10 to 20 years to break the formation. It's also possible that it'll take more than 30 years. We still have plenty of time to play with them." Hearing this, Wang Daoyuan was relieved. If that's the case, we'll be able to solve the problem of the heavenly Devil Valley with fewer casualties. Hearing this, Immortal Shen asked, "What brilliant plan does Martial Nephew Daoyuan have? Please tell us in detail." The main mission of the Archaic Mysteries sect was to guard the West Sea. If they suffered too many casualties in the southern wasteland, the West Sea would be in chaos again. Since the demon race wants to break the formation, they'll need the blood sacrifice method. We can't easily attack the heavenly Devil Valley, because that'll cut off their source of essence blood. The demon race won't have many people, so the blood sacrifice will mainly depend on ferocious beasts and blood demon cultivators. Most of the blood demon cultivators will listen to our orders. As long as Master gives the order, the blood demon cultivators will return to their own territories and not go out easily. The demon race's source of essence blood will be much smaller. The only thing left that can be used as a source of essence blood is ferocious beasts. The ferocious beasts near the demon-resisting mountain have probably been slaughtered long ago. To obtain the essence blood of ferocious beasts, they'll have to go to a place far away from the demon-resisting mountain. In this way, the demon race cultivators who kill the ferocious beasts will have to travel a long way. We'll send more people to intercept and kill these demon race cultivators. As long as we can cut off their source of essence blood, the demon race won't be able to perform the blood sacrifice method and have no means of breaking the formation. At that time, the demon race will have to leave the heavenly Devil Valley and fight with us. As long as the demon race dares to come out, we'll have the chance to annihilate them. As for how to intercept them, we'll have to wait for information and see where the demon race will send people to hunt ferocious beasts." Taoist Master Han Shuang smiled. "Although my Wind Snow Deity Palace doesn't have any experience in dealing with the demon race, if we fight in the wilderness, our spells won't be afraid of the demon race." The spells of the Wind Snow Deity Palace were mainly used for large-scale damage. Fighting in the wilderness was their forte. The others also agreed. As long as they didn't attack the heavily guarded Heavenly Devil Valley, fighting in other places was still acceptable. His disciple came up with a good idea, and Taoist Master Lei Yan's face also lit up. "Daoyu's plan is brilliant. As for how to implement it, Daoyu and I will have to discuss it carefully." Chapter 690. Next, everyone discussed the method to kill the fiendish cultivators. After all, these people were all in high positions and had sufficient management experience. Soon they perfected the plan, including how to find and kill the fiendish cultivators who hunted the demon beasts, how to intercept and kill them. Everything was arranged one by one. The Divine Weapon Pavilion and the Tai Sword sect also raised some spiritual birds that could act as sentries in the sky. In addition, most of the fiendish cultivators of the blood demon lineage listened to the two sections. As long as the two sects asked them to help monitor the movements of the demons, these blood demon fiendish cultivators would also be of great use. As for intercepting and killing, that was even simpler. Those who came out to hunt ferocious beasts were only soul demon fiendish cultivators who had joined the demons. Their physical bodies were weak. They could launch sneak attacks, but their ability to fight head-on was only so-so. As long as a few cultivators with powerful Dharma spells were sent out, they would be easily dealt with. In addition, the four top factions had many flying warships that could travel more than 5,000 kilometers in 2 hours. Hunting down fiendish cultivators was just a piece of cake. Wang Daoyuan did not plan to directly participate in the interception of the fiendish cultivators. He had just controlled Chen Jiaoyi and found out about a small fiendish cultivator stronghold. There were only 5 fiendish cultivators in this stronghold, and the leader was a late-stage golden core fiendish cultivator. Of the other 3, only one was at the mid-stage golden core realm, and the other 2 were at the early-stage golden core realm. With this kind of standard, Wang Daoyuan could also wipe them out if he made a move himself. It just so happened that he lacked clones. Normally, he would not have such a good opportunity to capture a golden core clone. Now that there was such an opportunity, he naturally could not let it go. Wang Daoyuan left the demon-suppressing city and released his clone, Chen Jiaoyi, to return to the demon fiendish cultivator stronghold. It was common for the fiendish cultivators in this stronghold to go out to monitor the demon-suppressing city for several days. It had only been 2 or 3 days since Chen Jiaoyi was captured. If he went back now, there would be no obvious abnormalities. Chen Jiaoyi walked in front while Wang Daoyuan concealed himself and followed behind. If the cultivators in the stronghold saw through Chen Jiaoyi, he would directly attack and take down the remaining 4 fiendish cultivators in the stronghold. This was not a small risk. He could win 2 against 4, but there might be someone who would self-destruct their golden core. If Chen Jiaoyi was not seen through, he could cast a long line to catch a big fish. This stronghold was located in an underground cave at the westernmost end of the demon-resisting mountain. It was more than 5,000 feet underground. Even a half-step Yuanian cultivator would not be able to discover the underground cave through such a deep layer of rock. Therefore, this place had never been discovered. Entering and exiting the underground caverns relied on rock crevices and karst caves. The route was extremely winding, and it was extremely difficult for outsiders to enter. However, with Chen Jiaoyi, the mole, leading the way, it was not difficult. Soon, Chen Jiaoyi walked into the tunnel. Wang Daoyuan was also hiding near the entrance. The leader of this place was called Liao Yang. He was an extremely ruthless person. The other 4 demonic cultivators in the stronghold were like mice that saw a cat when they saw him. They didn't even dare to breathe loudly. Wang Daoyuan didn't really control Chen Jiaoyi either. He only used his panoramic perception on Chen Jiaoyi. He was basically acting as himself. Seeing that he had returned, Liao Yang asked, "Has there been any movement in the demon-suppressing city?" As usual, Chen Jiaoyi replied cautiously, "When we return, the demon-suppressing city security has suddenly become much tighter, and there are flying warships flying out from time to time. This subordinate's cultivation is low, and I dare not approach rashly. I only discovered this situation." Liao Yang nodded slightly, but his mouth was still unforgiving. "Trash, you can't even handle this small matter. Get lost and cultivate first. I will send others out to investigate." The clone Chen Jiaoyi heaved a sigh of relief. Wang Daoyuan also heaved a sigh of relief. They had finally muddled through. He didn't continue to stay near the entrance of the stronghold. Instead, he left the underground tunnel and returned to the surface. After all, it was impossible to capture a Jindan cultivator alive without any commotion. He waited outside the tunnel for Liao Yang to send people out again. When they ran far away, he would take them down. Soon, Liao Yang sent another Jindan cultivator to the demon-suppressing city to investigate. Wang Daoyuan followed this person all the way. When he was 5,000 to 6,000 li away from the stronghold, he suddenly attacked and took him down. This person was called Ruan Chong. His strength was on par with Chen Jiaoyi, and he was a pure loose cultivator. However, the information he had was similar to Chen Jiaoyi. They had all become second-class lackeys on the side of the demon race. 2 days later, Wang Daoyuan released this person. Ruan Chong told him about the recent situation in the demon-suppressing city. After Liao Yang scolded him a few times, he let him go and cultivate. The remaining 2 Jindan cultivators were not very strong. And the demon-suppressing city was especially lively during this period of time. Liao Yang was afraid that they couldn't protect themselves alone, so he let the 2 of them come out together. This saved Wang Daoyuan a lot of time. It didn't take much effort to take down the 2 Jindan cultivators. These 2 people were called Feng Hu and Yao Long. They used to roam the southern wasteland together. Later, they joined the demons. They knew even less information, even less than Chen Jiaoyi and Ruan Chong. After the split souls in their bodies took control of their clones, they returned to the stronghold. Wang Daoyuan followed behind them and entered the stronghold together. 4 of the 5 people were under his control. It was time to make a move. After the 2 returned to the stronghold, they naturally couldn't avoid a round of scolding. Feng Hu and Yao Long were not too old. They were usually young and impetuous. When they were scolded, the veins on their faces bulged. Usually, they could only endure being scolded. This time, Wang Daoyuan wouldn't let them endure. The 2 of them took out their natal Dharma artifacts at the same time and attacked Liao Yang. Liao Yang was furious. "Are you 2 dogs trying to rebel?" After all, he was a late-stage golden core cultivator. The attacks of 2 Jindan cultivators couldn't threaten him. After taking out his natal Dharma artifact and repelling the 2 of them, he scolded, "Chen Jiaoyi, Ruan Chong, are you 2 blind? These 2 don't know what's good for them. Hurry up and take them down." Chen Jiaoyi and Ruan Chong walked forward and began to persuade both sides. Feng Hu and Yao Long put away their Dharma artifacts and said a few words of surrender. However, Liao Yang didn't give up and wanted to punish the 2 of them. At this moment, his vigilance was very low. Wang Daoyuan hid 100 feet away from them, waiting for this opportunity. He took out the 5 Elements Demon Suppression Seal and smashed it at Liao Yang. The suppression power was released. This was the nemesis of the demons and demonic cultivators. His strength was weakened by more than half. 4 clones immediately went forward and subdued Liao Yang. With the demon suppression seal on Liao Yang, it was impossible for him to detonate his golden core. Wang Daoyuan used the doppelganger soul nurturing technique to refine him into a clone. After a few days of fishing, he finally caught a big fish. 2 days later, the split soul took control of the clone. Wang Daoyuan pried into Liao Yang's memories. As the leader of this small stronghold, he knew more than Chen Jiaoyi and the others. However, he didn't know much about the situation in Sky Devil Valley. After all, that was the core of the demons. They couldn't let their lackeys know. All he knew was who the experts of the demon race were. According to his memory, there were a total of 15 half-step nascent soul cultivators among this group of demons. Among them, the Yin demons had the most. There were 7 of them. The Yang demons had 5, and the Dharma demons only had 2. However, these 2 Dharma demons were also the strongest. In addition, there were more than 30 late-stage golden core demons. Although Liao Yang was a demon cultivator of the Yin demon tribe, his direct superior was a late-stage golden core blood demon. Now, these dozens of demons were guarding Sky Devil Valley. Those who were active outside were only lackeys and fiendish cultivators. That was all Liao Yang knew. As for where the demonic cultivators went to kill the beasts and how the demons broke through the formation, he didn't know much. With the Demon Suppression City and the Ascension Valley in the western part of Demon Suppression Mountain, the demons wouldn't dare cause trouble here. Liao Yang's understanding of the demon race was only this much. The demons' high-end combat strength was not weak. There were more than 50 late-stage golden core demons. Together with the 15 half-step Yuanying demons, their strength surpassed the Tai Sword sect. Wang Daoyuan immediately sent a message to Lei Yan, informing him of the demon's strength. Chapter 691. When the news reached Fiend Suppression City, the sect masters felt a wave of lingering fear. If it weren't for Taoist Lei Yan, a nascent soul cultivator, the human race might not necessarily be a match for the devil race. Of course, the humans had plenty of resources, and even more resources of all kinds. They could still win without the Yuanying, but the price would be very high. After some discussion, they realized how important Wang Daoyuan's method was. If they had attacked Sky Devil Valley before, even without other ambushes, the demons' high-end forces would have been enough to make them suffer. Spiritual Master Thunderflame knew his limits. He only said that Wang Daoyuan had captured a demon cultivator, but didn't say that he'd taken over the stronghold. Wang Daoyuan wasn't too satisfied with the results. After so many days of effort, he'd only heard about the demon's high-end forces. It didn't matter how many high-end forces there were. They couldn't beat his master anyway. What he needed most was the progress of the blood sacrifice in Sky Devil Valley, as well as the distribution of the demon cultivator's hunting area. Only the true demons would know these core secrets. These demon cultivator lackeys were just doing odd jobs. They couldn't know these things. It wasn't realistic for Liao Yang to go to Sky Devil Valley to gather information. There were many Een demons there. They were the experts when it came to playing with souls. Much of the doppelganger soul-nurturing technique came from the demons. If his doppelganger dared to go, he wouldn't be able to hide it from the Een demons. If he wanted to take down a demon, it was best to lure him over. Liao Yang's immediate superior was a late golden core blood demon called Blood Flame. He could be considered a high-ranking member of the demons and had some authority. He should know the demon's specific arrangements. If he could find a way to lure him over and refine him into a doppelganger, he'd have all these secrets. Wang Daoyuan sent Blood Flame some information about Fiend Suppression City through his doppelganger Liao Yang. Of course, this information was 70% true and 30% false. It would be difficult for the demons to verify it. However, it was impossible to trick a high-ranking demon over with just one or two pieces of information. In order to fool the demons, he even reported his plan to his master and asked for their cooperation. Every 10 days to half a month, he would send one or two pieces of useful information to Blood Flame. In a month or two, I'll send him a piece of important news. Liao Yang often provided useful information, allowing Xueqi to show his face to the half-step Yuanying demons. Naturally, he began to value Liao Yang more and more. 2 months after Wang Daoyuan took over the stronghold, the Blood Flame sent other demonic cultivators to deliver some cultivation resources as a reward for Liao Yang. On the other side of the demon-suppressing city, they had already acted according to Wang Daoyuan's plan. Although he hadn't figured out the pattern of demonic cultivators hunting ferocious beasts, he had been able to capture a few demonic cultivators after several trips. The speed at which the demons obtained blood essence had also been affected. The small stronghold that Liao Yang was in was precisely the place that monitored the demon-suppressing city. Bloody Flame had also ordered Liao Yang to monitor the movements of the human flying battleships many times. Since the other side didn't state their specific needs, Wang Daoyuan couldn't find the right solution to the problem. Now that he had made a request, everything would be easy to handle. He discussed it with his master and sent over the movements of a few flying battleships. He would then inform Xueqi of their whereabouts. Based on Wang Daoyuan's information, a few demonic cultivators managed to avoid the attacks of the flying battleships and successfully brought the ferocious beast corpses back to demon-suppressing mountain. With this, Xueqi's status on the demon's side rose. The half-step Yuanying demons of the Yang demon lineage expressed that they wanted to nurture Xueqi to break through to the half-step Yuanying realm and become the decision-maker of the demons. This made Xueqi even more excited. The demons were the same as the humans. There were 1,000 people and 1,000 faces. Some were sinister and cunning. Naturally, there were also honest ones. Yang demons were mostly more rash. They relied on their strong physical bodies to attack at the slightest sign of dissatisfaction. A favor must be repaid, and a grudge must be avenged. This was the blood demon's way of doing things. Xueqi was no exception. Although he looked down on Liao Yang's lackeys. However, he was valued because of Liao Yang, so he naturally had to return the favor. Moreover, the demons weren't all harmonious internally. In the future, after breaking through to the half-step Yuanying realm and becoming the decision-maker of the demons, he also had to have his own faction under his command. Otherwise, if no one listened to what he said, what kind of decision-maker would he be? Although he hadn't broken through yet, he also had to establish his own faction in advance. A capable subordinate like Liao Yang naturally had to be nurtured well. Very soon, Liao Yang received Xueqi's message. Xueqi praised Liao Yang in the message and even said that he wanted to come over personally to reward Liao Yang. This news made Wang Daoyuan overjoyed. He was originally still thinking about how to lure Xueqi out. Did not expect that this guy delivered himself to the door. It saved him a lot of trouble. Wang Daoyuan himself also had to make some preparations. If Xueqi this guy brought a few subordinates over, It would be rather troublesome. Furthermore, the strength of the Golden Core Fiend race was really not weak. Back then, when he dealt with the Devouring Spirit at the same rank, he was almost ambushed. Although his current strength was above Xueyan's, late-stage Golden Core Fiends were not easy to deal with. Wanting to take them down silently was still very difficult. Fortunately, he still had some array discs in his hands that specialized in dealing with fiends. These things were prepared by the Divine Weapon Pavilion and the Tai Sword Sect. Wanting to fight with the fiend race, all kinds of preparations could not be lacking. After all, not every human cultivator had the means to deal with the fiend race. Without the means to deal with the fiend race themselves, then they had to rely on array formations, magic artifacts, and other external objects to supplement. This array disc was called the White Tiger Devil Subduing Formation. It was a high-grade rank 4 array formation. When the array formation was activated, it could summon the White Tiger True Form to attack the target in the array. It had tremendous destructive power and suppressive effect on fiends and demons. Wang Daoyuan buried the array disc in the rock layer in the stronghold. High-grade spirit stones providing spiritual power. Feng Hu and Yao Long, two people's strengths were low. Dealing with late-stage Golden Core Fiends, they could not help much either. It was just nice to use them to control the array formation. 3 days later, Xueyan arrived outside the stronghold. He even came alone. This guy's appearance was in line with the appearance of the legendary fiend race. He was 10 feet tall, with muscles all over his body, 2 horns on his head, and 2 upturned fangs in his mouth. His nose was not very obvious, but he had 2 large blood-red eyes. His skin was dark red and gave off a strong smell of blood. Liao Yang led Chen Zhaoyi and Ruan Chong to the surface to welcome him. Wang Daoyuan, Feng Hu, and Yao Long continued to stay in the underground stronghold. Soon, Xueyan arrived at the stronghold under the three's lead. Liao Yang led him to the main seat. Xueyan sat down and praised Liao Yang. "You've done very well during this period. The information you gathered helped the Sacred Clan recover a lot of losses. The half-step Yuanying of the Sacred Clan is very satisfied and has decided to train me to become a half-step Yuanying. As long as you work hard for me, you will benefit greatly in the future. I've brought you some cultivation resources and defensive magic artifacts." With that, he threw an interspatial ring to Liao Yang. Liao Yang hurriedly caught the interspatial ring and cupped his hands. "Thank you for your reward, sir. This subordinate will definitely work hard for you." Blood demons were mostly simple-minded people. A few words of flattery made him laugh to his heart's content. Just as he was laughing heartily, Wang Daoyuan's 5 elemental demon subduing seal appeared behind him. To prevent him from being smashed to death, the seal didn't smash his head, but his waist instead. A demon's golden core was also in his abdomen. If it hit his waist, it would suppress his golden core and prevent him from self-destructing. Feng Hu and Yao Long also opened the White Tiger Demon Subduing Formation under Wang Daoyuan's control. Blood demons were not weak. Even if their golden cores were suppressed and they couldn't use spirit energy, their physical strength was much less affected. No matter how stupid Xueyan was, he knew that he had been ambushed. He turned around and punched at Wang Daoyuan. The White Tiger True Form pounced at him. He didn't dare attack Wang Daoyuan again and turned to block the White Tiger. Wang Daoyuan took this opportunity to use the Black Tortoise Purgatory to trap him. Wang Daoyuan wasn't afraid that Xueyan would escape after being suppressed by the White Tiger True Form and the Demon Subduing Seal. The Black Tortoise Purgatory was relatively small, only about 10 meters in diameter. Although Xueyan's physical body was strong, the Black Tortoise Purgatory contained the charm of a black tortoise. Divine beasts were extremely effective against demons. The Black Tortoise Purgatory was much more effective against them. He punched the wall of flames a few times, but the Black Tortoise Purgatory remained unmoved. The Black Tortoise Purgatory continued to shrink until he couldn't move. The black flames invaded his knowledge sea, incinerating his already weak divine sense. Xueyan's spirit energy, consciousness, and physical body were all controlled. He couldn't resist at all. Chapter 692. Wang Daoyuan poured the Scarlet Sun primordial fire into Xueyan's body and incinerated all the spiritual energy in his body. Xueyan did not even have the ability to commit suicide so that he could take his time to deal with him. He could not casually use the doppelganger soul-nurturing technique on a late golden core stage demon. Generally, disciples of big sects would have a restriction in their sea of consciousness to protect their memories. Once it was forcefully broken, the restriction would automatically explode. At that time, Xueyan's devil soul would be blown into pieces and he would lose all his memories. As the attacker, Wang Daoyuan would naturally be affected. Xueyan was a late gold core devil, and he was also a high-level devil. It was very likely that he had such a restriction. Soul restriction was a top secret of the big sects and Wang Daoyuan had never seen it before, let alone break it. He sent a message to his master and told him about the situation, asking him to help find a way to break the soul restriction. After Reverend Lei Yan received the message, he asked Reverend Xian Tian Dao Yuan used an array to trap a late golden core stage demon. He wanted to search his soul but he was worried that there was a restriction in his soul. Your archaic mysteries sect is good at this. How do you think we can break the restriction? Hearing this, everyone in the hall was pleasantly surprised. A late golden core stage demon would definitely know many secrets of the demon race. As long as they could search his soul, the demon race would have no secrets. Everyone looked at Reverend Xian Tian, hoping that he would give them a way to break the soul restriction. Reverend Xian Tian did not hide anything. I heard that martial nephew Dao Yuan is proficient in pill refinement, smithing, and talisman arrays. I wonder how is his smithing and array standards? Reverend Lei Yan answered, both his smithing and array Dao are low-grade tier 4. Then there is no problem. Tell martial nephew Dao Yuan that the soul restriction mainly uses array runes and smithing runes as support. He will naturally know what to do. Reverend Lei Yan passed on Reverend Xian Tian's message. Wang Daoyuan looked at the message and understood. Array runes and smithing runes were the main components. This soul restriction was equivalent to an immortal tool type array. It was just that the array foundation and immortal tool were omitted and the tool and array runes were completely used to set up the array on the soul. Since it was an array, it would be broken according to the method of breaking an array. Without an array base, it was impossible to set up such a complicated array. All they needed to do was find the array core and break it. Wang Daoyuan used the soul-severing blade, a divine sense spell, to attack Xueyan's Sea of Consciousness. The enormous ancient true demon phantom in Xueyan's Sea of Consciousness had been suppressed by the 5 elements divine beasts. The translucent sphere in the true demon's hand was equivalent to the violet palace of the demons. The soul-severing blade slashed at the ball and easily tore open a hole, revealing the demonic soul inside. Wang Daoyuan separated a strand of his divine sense to stimulate the devil soul. Xueyan's divine sense had been completely exhausted, and the demonic soul was powerless to resist. It cried out in pain. Soon, a blood-red barrier appeared around his demonic soul. There were complicated carvings on it. The energy within the barrier was mainly divine sense energy, and it didn't belong to Xueyan himself. These carvings were soul restrictions. This was the method of the devil race. The human race's formation and tool patterns were quite different from this, but the basic principles were the same. Wang Daoyuan released a strand of his divine sense to attack Xueyan's demonic soul. This bit of attack power wasn't enough to break through the blood-red barrier, and it wouldn't trigger the self-destruction function of the restriction. In order to resist Wang Daoyuan's attack, energy constantly flowed through the carvings on the barrier. Wang Daoyuan carefully observed the direction of the energy flow and found where it gathered. This array looked intimidating and powerful, but it wasn't very complicated. He only used 4 hours to deduce the locations of all the array cores. Now, it was very easy to break the restriction. However, because the devil race's restriction was different from the human race's, he had yet to deduce where the self-destruction function would be triggered. If he couldn't break the self-destruction array core, the demonic soul would also be finished when the restriction was destroyed. Wang Daoyuan strengthened his divine sense to attack the demonic soul and activate the restriction. Soon, he found that the energy fluctuations of 2 array cores had clearly increased. Moreover, these 2 array cores were constantly absorbing energy, but they didn't do anything. They didn't play a defensive role and were constantly absorbing energy to store. This was preparing for self-destruction. These were the array cores with the self-destruction function. As long as he broke these 2 array cores, the remaining restriction would be nothing. Wang Daoyuan released 2 strands of Gui water death flame and wrapped these 2 array cores, constantly consuming their energy. As long as the energy in these 2 array cores didn't reach the self-destruction requirement, they wouldn't be able to destroy Xueyan's demonic soul. The Gue Water Death Flames attack had reached the point of self-destruction. A large amount of energy converged into the two array cores. Wang Daoyuan also increased the firepower of the Gue Water Death Flame, so that the blood-red energy couldn't enter the self-destruction array core before it was exhausted. After a few dozen breaths, the blood-red barrier became colorless and transparent. The energy within was almost completely exhausted. The remaining energy wasn't enough to support the self-destruction of the restriction. Wang Daoyuan formed the soul-splitting blade, broke through the barrier, and slashed at the forehead of Xueyan's demonic soul. Then, he poured his soul into it and put it into the space of the spirit pearl. At this time, in Heavenly Devil Valley, a blood-red demon that looked similar to Xueyan was meditating. Suddenly he opened his eyes and said in surprise, "Not good, Xueyan has been taken down." After breaking the soul restriction, Wang Daoyuan put the other 5 clones into the space of the spirit pearl. Then, he left the underground stronghold and found a crack in the rock outside demon-suppressing city to hide. Breaking Xueyan's soul restriction must have alarmed the person who set up this restriction. Wang Daoyuan didn't dare to wait here for the rabbit to appear. There wasn't much meaning in asking Master to bring people to set up an ambush. After all, the demons weren't fools. If someone was killed, they wouldn't be on guard. At that time, he might go for wool and come home shorn. He might even expose that he had obtained the inheritance of the 10,000 corpse spiritual master. After hiding for 2 days, the clones had completely controlled Xueyan's body. However, the number of clones had already exceeded 10. Wang Daoyuan extracted the soul fragment from Tu Yoming's body. He had a bunch of Jindan clones. What was the use of keeping a Violet Palace Realm clone that couldn't be seen? After removing the soul fragment, Tu Yoming's intelligence became extremely low. However, he could still help manage the spirit plants. Wang Daoyuan began to pry into Xueyan's memories. This guy was around 1,000 years old. The lifespan of the demons was much longer than that of humans. Of course, their cultivation speed was also slower. From his memories, he knew that the demons had around 200 Jindan and above cultivators. The number of half-step Yuanying and late-stage Jindan demons was about the same as the information he got from Liao Yang. Now, all the demons were gathered in Heavenly Devil Valley. In order to defend against the attacks of the humans, they set up a large number of 4th-rank high-grade demon formations to guard against Taoist Lei Yen. The demons still had some 5th-rank magic tools and spiritual items in their hands. These things were all sent over by the demons in the decimating heaven abyss. The formations they set up with these 5th-rank magic tools and spiritual items were enough to threaten the Yuanying cultivators. Wang Daoyuan was secretly glad that he didn't attack Heavenly Devil Valley. Otherwise, his master might really have died in Heavenly Devil Valley. The cultivators in Fiend-suppressing city were already the most elite forces of the human race. If they were to be wiped out in a battle, there would probably be no room for the human race to survive in Beiyuan Xiuxian. As a higher-up, Xueyan naturally knew about the situation of the Sealing Formation in Heavenly Devil Valley. The Sealing Formation was destroyed by the blood sacrifice technique 10,000 years ago. Although the Divine Weapon Pavilion and Tai Sword Sect tried their best to repair it after the demon chaos was quelled, its power was still far from before. The demons had already secretly killed ferocious beasts before and collected their blood essence. Their current blood essence had already reached 1/3 of the requirement to break the formation. They originally wanted to continue hiding and secretly kill ferocious beasts. However, Taoist Lei Yan's breakthrough in the Yuanying disrupted their plans. The demons had already received news about the 5th-rank spiritual energy appearing in the hidden Dragon River Tide in Zhou country. During the last spiritual energy tide, Taoist Lei Yan's purple gold jewel pagoda also received many benefits. The jewel pagoda was originally an extremely high-grade magic tool. Furthermore, it was nourished by Yuanying cultivators. Who knew when it would recover to the 5th rank? The purple gold jewel pagoda was originally an extremely high-grade magic tool. In the past, it definitely had an artifact spirit. However, its grade dropped to the 4th rank and was not enough to nourish an artifact spirit. The artifact spirit fell into a deep slumber. This thing had already caused the demons to tremble in fear 10,000 years ago. If it recovered to the 5th rank and the artifact spirit awakened, its power would increase greatly. These 3 melons and 2 dates of the fiend race were not enough to look at all. Secretly killing ferocious beasts was simply too slow. They could only do it openly and fight for time with Taoist Lei Yan. Their goal was to release the sealed Yuanying demons in Heavenly Devil Valley and defeat Taoist Lei Yan before the Purple Gold Jewel Pagoda recovered. Chapter 693. The so-called artifact spirit was the manifestation of laws. Once a magic artifact reached the 5th grade, it could be nurtured by the user's mastery of laws and give birth to an artifact spirit. At this stage, the magic artifact could be called a spirit artifact. Its power was worlds apart from that of a 4th grade magic artifact. Of course, not just any magic artifact could nurture an artifact spirit. The average 5th grade magic artifact's owner only had a lifespan of 2,000 years. It was very difficult to nurture an artifact spirit. An ancestral magic artifact like the Violet Gold Jewel Pagoda had been nurtured for tens of thousands of years. Since it had reached the 7th grade, it naturally had an artifact spirit. Once an artifact spirit was born, its owner would be able to use all methods related to laws through the artifact, greatly increasing the power of the artifact. Xueqi wasn't sure how many demons there were under the seal. This was an absolute secret that only half-step Yuanying demons knew about. Lei Yan's strength was above that of cultivators of the same grade. His abilities and laws were the bane of demons. With the help of others, he could deal with 2 or 3 early-stage Yuanying demons. If the artifact spirit of the Violet Gold Jewel Pagoda awakened, 4 or 5 early-stage Yuanying demons wouldn't be able to take advantage of the humans. The upper echelons of the demons estimated that it would take at least 6 or 7 years to collect enough essence blood at the current rate of hunting. Recently, under the constant interception of the humans, the demons were able to bring back fewer and fewer beasts. The speed at which they collected essence blood was also greatly affected. At this rate, it would take at least another 10 years to collect enough essence blood. Xueqi knew where the demons hunted. After hearing this news, Wang Daoyuan immediately returned to the Fiend Suppression City. When the people of the city saw him return, they were all very excited. Lei Yan asked, "Did you succeed?" Wang Daoyuan nodded. "I succeeded. I spent a lot of effort before I managed to remove the soul restriction." Cloud's Word quickly asked, "How long will it take for the Sky Devil Valley to break the seal? Also, what's the current strength of the demons?" Wang Daoyuan answered, "The demons were fully prepared before they took action. If we didn't interfere, they would only need 6 or 7 years to kill the beasts. With our interference, it will take them another 10 years to collect enough blood essence." As for the strength of the demon clan, their combat power was above the late gold core stage, which was exactly the same as the information he had received previously. There were more than 200 demons at the gold core stage and above, and this did not include the demonic cultivators who had joined them. On the Sky Devil Valley side, there were 3 layers of demon races formations, and there were even level 5 magic artifacts. Even if his master went over, he wouldn't be able to get away with it. The only thing we can do now is to cut off their source of blood essence. Taoist Master Shen Tian continued to ask, "How many Yuanying demons are there in Sky Devil Valley?" Now that senior martial brother Lei Yan has broken through to the Yuanying realm, the human race is strong. Why is the demon race attacking now? The number of Yuanying demons sealed in Sky Devil Valley is a top secret. Only the half-step Yuanying demons know about it. As for why they were acting now, it was because their master had broken through to the Yuanying realm. With their master's strength, ordinary early Yuanying demonic cultivators are no match for them. If this drags on for too long, their master's purplish gold jewel pagoda will recover to level 5 and awaken its artifact spirit. At that time, the demon race's arrangements in Sky Devil Valley will become a joke. The demon race is anxious and wants to race against time with us. That's right, the demon race's hunting grounds are mainly within the Sky Beheading Mountain Range. They are going north along the Sky Beheading Mountain Range. The demonic cultivators near the demon suppressing city are just trying their luck. At the same time, they are acting as decoy soldiers to cover the ferocious beasts near the Sky Beheading Mountain Range. Taoist Master Han Shuang nodded. This is normal. 10,000 years ago, when the demons were in chaos, the ancestor of the treasured cauldron lineage relied on the purplish gold jewel pagoda to kill countless demons. Senior martial brother Lei Yan, your purplish gold jewel pagoda also absorbed a lot of level 5 spirit chi at the Hidden Dragon River. How long will it take to recover to level 5? The purplish gold jewel pagoda had become the key to the battle, so these people were naturally very concerned. Taoist Master Lei Yen smiled. The Jewel Pagoda has indeed absorbed a lot of level 5 spirit chi before, and it's only a line away from level 5 now. But this line is like the difference between a half-step yuanying and a true yuanying. Although it's very small, it's very difficult to cross. As for how long it will take, it's hard to say. At most, it will take a dozen years, but at least 5 to 6 years. Taoist Master Cloud's words stroked his beard and laughed. In that case, we have some confidence in our hearts. Now that we know the demon race's main source of blood essence, it's no big deal to drag it on for a dozen years. Why don't we make some preparations and go to the sky-beheading mountain range to give the demons a ruthless blow? Snatch all the ferocious beasts they hunt, and we can eat some ferocious beast meat to replenish our consumption. No one had any objections. This matter couldn't be delayed. It was best to make the demons completely lose confidence in hunting ferocious beasts, and then come out to fight the humans. Taoist Master Lei Yen smiled. Then let's do it big. Dao Yuan, you know the specific locations of the demonic cultivators' activities. I'll leave the command of the battle to you. Dao Yu of the Archaic Arcanum sect is good at defense and not good at offense. He's not very good at fighting in the wilderness, so he'll stay behind to guard the demon-suppressing city and the Golden Iron Mountain. The cultivators of the other 3 sects, as well as the cultivators of the late Aurus core stage and above, all take action. Let's fight and kill all these bastards who have forgotten who their ancestors are. Let's see which demonic cultivator dares to rely on the demons in the future. Everyone agreed in unison. Subsequently, more than a dozen high-grade Tier 4 flying warships carried hundreds of Aurus core cultivators. They left the demon-suppressing city and headed east. As the commander of the battle, Wang Daoyuan's flying warship flew at the front. The participating cultivators released their spiritual beasts to search for the whereabouts of the demon race's lackeys. Once discovered, flying warships were sent to chase after them. The other flying warships continued to head towards the sky-beheading mountain range. The flying speed of the demonic cultivators was much slower than the high-grade Tier 4 flying warships. Needless to say, as long as there were enough spirit stones, flying warships could circle the entire Beiyuan Xiuxian without a problem. Encountering more than a dozen demonic cultivators along the way, not a single one escaped. Very soon, the party arrived in the vicinity of the sky-beheading mountain range. According to Bloodflame's memories, more than 5,000 miles away from the sky-beheading mountain range's main vein and more than 10,000 miles away from the absolute heaven abyss, there was an enormous valley called 100 Herb Valley. The other places near the absolute heaven abyss were mostly barren. But in this 100 Herb Valley, vegetation was lush. Especially a kind of spirit plant called demonic soul grass was abundant in this place. After ferocious beasts and demonic beasts ate it, it could greatly increase their intelligence. This demonic soul grass had an extremely strong attraction to both demonic beasts and ferocious beasts. Demonic soul grass was a high-grade Tier 4 spirit medicine. Its grade was even higher in ancient times. Wang Daoyuan had also seen records of this kind of spirit medicine in the beast-taming books in the Valley of Beasts. The cultivators in the Valley of Beasts used demonic soul grass to refine some medicinal pills and used to tame beasts. After many spirit beasts ate this kind of medicinal pill, their intelligence increased greatly, and they could speak human language without transforming. After their intelligence increased, they could also cultivate some spells. Demonic beasts only relied on innate spells to fight their enemies, and their methods were monotonous. It was hard to avoid being restrained. Taming spirit beasts and letting them cultivate some spells or even cultivation methods could make up for this flaw. Pill formulas to refine this kind of medicinal pill, as well as spells and cultivation methods suitable for spirit beasts to cultivate, were also the core inheritances in the Valley of Beasts. The inheritances obtained by the Purple Gold River branch only mentioned these and did not have the true secret manual. The other small factions related to the Valley of Beasts inheritances also did not have the means to let spirit beasts cultivate cultivation methods. At most, they could only let spirit beasts cultivate some extremely simple spells. It did not have much of an increase in combat power. Since 100 Herb Valley had demonic soul grass, then ferocious beasts naturally flocked over too. Demonic cultivators were naturally not stupid either. With ferocious beasts gathering here, they also laid down an array formation here to lure and kill the ferocious beasts that came to search for demonic soul grass. Wang Daoyuan did not care about the ferocious beasts. What he wanted was the demonic soul grass. If this thing could be planted in large quantities, The family could try taming spirit beasts in large numbers in the future. Chapter 694. More than 10 flying warships soon arrived outside 100 Herb Valley. The valley was 5,000 kilometers long from north to south and thousands of kilometers wide from east to west. It was surrounded by the main heaven/mountain range and several tall mountain ranges. These tall mountain ranges were deep in the nine heavens atmosphere. Perhaps it was because of the mountain ranges that the violent spirit chi from the outside world could not seep in. The spirit chi in 100 Herb Valley was much milder than outside. Even ferocious beasts with extremely strong bodies did not want to enter the nine heavens atmosphere casually. Fortunately, these mountain ranges were not monolithic. There was a narrow path in the south, west and north that connected the inside and outside of 100 Herb Valley. There were no array formations set up between these narrow paths. After all, ferocious beasts often came and the array formations set up would be broken. The few cultivators on the same flying warship as Wang Daoyuan took out their flying swords and led the way in case there were any ambushes. Wang Daoyuan also released upper-grade 2 soul-chasing bees to scout ahead. The spirit chi here was milder and the upper-grade 2 soul-chasing bees could withstand it for a period of time. Furthermore, the space did not lack such things. In the past few years, the area of the spirit fields in the space had increased a lot and the concentration of spirit chi had increased as well. The number of upper-grade 2 soul-chasing bees had increased to 10,000. There were also more than 30,000 middle-grade 2 soul-chasing bees. It was not a problem to lose dozens of them. Those middle-grade 2 soul-chasing bees could also break through quickly if they were fed more honey. The soul-chasing bees entered the narrow path and did not find any traces of an ambush. 3 flying warships were left behind to guard the 3 narrow paths while the rest entered the valley. The environment inside was indeed very different from the outside world. Towering ancient trees could be seen everywhere, and exotic flowers and herbs could be found everywhere. In this valley, there were also many wild spirit bees flying among the flowers. However, their grades were not high and they were only at the low grade 2. Apart from their stronger bodies that could adapt to the violent spirit chi, there was nothing special about them that was worth his time. The soul-chasing bees spread out and soon found many ferocious beasts. However, they did not find any traces of fiendish cultivators. After all, those fiendish cultivators were of the demon lineage and were good at hiding. It was difficult for the soul-chasing bees to find traces of golden core fiendish cultivators. The targets of demonic cultivators were ferocious beasts. Wherever there were ferocious beasts, there would be demonic cultivators. Several flying warships flew to the place where the ferocious beasts gathered and carefully searched the surroundings. The approach of the flying warship caused the ferocious beasts to be displeased. They roared to warn Wang Daoyuan and the others. Their intelligence was much higher than the ferocious beasts outside. Seeing that Wang Daoyuan and the others were strong, they did not dare to use force. Wang Daoyuan didn't have the time to play with them. Both sides kept their distance and didn't have any conflicts. It was impossible for each of these devil cultivators to have a black devil robe. No matter how good their concealment techniques were, it would be very difficult to hide from the cultivators of the 4 top forces. Wang Daoyuan executed the heaven-peering secret technique and constantly swept his gaze below. Soon, he discovered a spiritual energy fluctuation in a lush area. Furthermore, this spiritual energy fluctuation carried the aura of a demonic cultivator. He didn't hold back, and commanded the flying warship to attack the lush vegetation. The 10 flying warships behind him also did the same. For a time, all kinds of 4th-tier high-grade offensive magic artifacts besieged an area of less than 10 miles. Cries of agony could be heard continuously. There were 6 demonic cultivators in the middle and late stage of the Golden Core realm who wanted to escape from this place. Their speed was simply too weak in front of the higher-ups of the 4 top forces. Soon, they were caught up and all of them died. Wang Daoyuan left their bodies intact as they would be of use later. In the end, the palace master of the Wind-Snow Deity Palace, Han Shuang, used the wind-snow freezing sky. This lush area turned into a world of ice and snow. A few late-stage Golden Core realm cultivators went down and searched for a while. They found 5 somewhat incomplete ice sculptures. Wang Daoyuan casually took out a few storage bags and stored all the 11 corpses. Then, he continued to search in the 100 Herb Valley. When the other demonic cultivators saw this situation, they wanted to escape. Wang Daoyuan also sent out the flying warships to chase after them. A few of the faster ones escaped from the 100 Herb Valley. They collided head-on with the flying warships guarding the narrow passage and were instantly killed. A few desperate ones actually flew directly into the 9 Heavens astral wind. These demonic cultivators were all of the Een demon lineage and didn't have strong physical bodies. They couldn't stay in the 9 Heavens astral wind for long. The flying warships weren't in a hurry to kill them. They just followed behind slowly. The demonic cultivators didn't dare to come down. They were blown to death in the astral wind. Wang Daoyuan didn't think it was cruel. He could understand what cultivation technique they cultivated. However, betraying their human identity and helping the demons conquer the human race was unforgivable. It would be too easy for them to use such torture all over the world. After spending a day, they found 5 such gathering places in the 100 Herb Valley and killed more than 40 demonic cultivators in the middle and late stage of the Golden Core realm. With so many demonic cultivators, the demons would feel the pinch for a long time. After searching the entire 100 Herb Valley, they didn't find any more traces of demonic cultivators. Wang Daoyuan released thousands of soul-chasing bees to search for the demon soul grass. Even though the 100 Herb Valley was lush with vegetation, 4th-grade spiritual plants were still very conspicuous. Soon, the soul-chasing bees found a clump of demon soul grass in a crack on a cliff. There were 5 of them. Wang Daoyuan left the flying warships and flew outside the crack. He widened the crack with his sword and exposed the demon soul grass. This thing was only half a foot tall and looked like a seedling. It was pitch black and wrapped in a layer of pure Een Qi. Wang Daoyuan cut the whole rock with the white tiger blade and put it in the space of the spiritual pearl. He buried the rock near the Gue water death flame. With the demon soul grass in hand, there was no point in staying here. Wang Daoyuan and the others left the 100 Herb Valley and flew southeast. He didn't plan to return to the demon-suppressing city like this. He killed more than 40 demonic cultivators and had more than 30 relatively intact corpses. He didn't collect these corpses for nothing. He planned to fly around the Sky Devil Valley and show off his strength. In order to prevent the demons from doing anything desperate, he also sent a message to his master. He told him his plan and told him to hide near the Sky Devil Valley. If the demons dared to make a move, he would give them a hard time. Everyone was naturally very happy. The 14 flying warships flew toward the Sky Devil Valley. When they were about 500 miles north of the Sky Devil Valley, the flying warships stopped moving forward. According to Xueyan's memory, there would be a demon formation in another 20 to 30 miles. More than 30 demonic cultivator corpses were hung on the bow of the flying warships. Wang Daoyuan ordered the flying warships to attack the Sky Devil Valley to see if they could destroy some of the formations. As a last resort, the demons activated the defensive formations. Wang Daoyuan shouted, "Animals who are dogs for the devil race, come and take a look. This is your fate. We killed you and hung your corpses in public. Your masters don't even dare to show their faces. Cowards of the demons, come out and fight with me. I just happen to be lacking a mount. I heard you have a lot of half-step yuanying. Although the demons look a bit whimsical, a half-step yuanying mount isn't a disgrace to me." As soon as he said this, the human cultivators burst into laughter. No one had ever thought of capturing half-step yuanying demons as mounts. The cultivators of the 3 great sects were too proud to curse. The cultivators who responded to the recruitment didn't care about this. They cursed all 18 generations of the demons' ancestors. In a cave in the Sky Devil Valley, several burly demons stomped their feet in anger. One of them, who looked younger, smashed the stone table in front of him and shouted angrily, "The sacred clan has conquered many worlds and won every battle. When have we ever suffered such humiliation? Let me go out and kill a few humans to vent my anger." A demon who looked like an ordinary person persuaded, "This is a trick of the humans. Lei Yen Zhenren is waiting outside. As long as we go out, we will suffer heavy casualties. Besides, do you have the confidence to take down these flying warships?" Chapter 695. Hearing this, the demons who were clamoring to kill humans to vent their anger all calmed down. Years ago, spiritual master Lei Yen had killed the demons of the southern wasteland. When he was at the peak of the Golden Core stage, these half-step yuanying demons were still no match for him. Now that he had broken through to the yuanying stage, these demons dared not go against him. The demons were appeased, but the demonic cultivators in the vicinity of Sky Devil Valley were not happy about it. After defecting to the demons did not treat them as humans. All the dirty, tiring, and life-threatening jobs were left to them. Now, the humans were so ruthless to the demonic cultivators who defected to the demons. The demons were blocked in Sky Devil Valley, and none dared to show their faces. He had paid a huge price, but he hadn't gained anything. Now it seemed that the demons' chances of winning were far lower than the humans. Before they defected to the demons, they were bullied by the demonic cultivators of the blood demons. Now that they defected to the demons, they were bullied by the humans, demons, and blood demons. Then why did they risk their lives to defect to the demons? To die faster and more miserably? The risk and cost were great, but there were no visible gains. Anyone would be disloyal. Spiritual Master Yun he took the opportunity to shout, "Demonic cultivators who defected to the demons, listen up. I am Spiritual Master Yun he of the Divine Weapon Pavilion. Although you practice the demonic techniques, you are still humans. As long as you can abandon the darkness and defect to the light, I will spare your lives on behalf of the Divine Weapon Pavilion. If you are stubborn, you are not the only ones who have the ability to extract souls and refine them." The demonic cultivators hidden in various parts of Sky Devil Valley began to mutter, and some of them even communicated with each other using their consciousness. "Dao Yuli, do you think there is a way out for us if we follow the demons?" The saluting cultivator replied telepathically, "There is no way out. The dozens of Dao Yuli in 100 Herb Valley have been wiped out in such a short time. The demons will only be cowards, and don't even dare to show their faces. We have to think about leaving a way out for ourselves." The demonic cultivator who asked the question nodded and did not speak anymore. Other than those who had a blood feud with the Divine Weapon Pavilion and the Tai Sword Sect, many devil cultivators wanted to leave Sky Devil Valley as soon as possible. Wang Daoyuan and the others were not in a hurry. The resources stored in the demon-suppressing city were enough to last them for a few more years. They could slowly exhaust the demon race. Time was on the side of the human race. 14 flying warships were blocking Sky Devil Valley. In the beginning, there were still devil cultivators transporting the corpses of demonic beasts to the heavenly Devil Valley. Wang Daoyuan knew where these devil cultivators came from due to the array formations set up around the heavenly Devil Valley. None of these demonic cultivators were spared. They were all killed, and their corpses became accessories for the flying warship. The demonic cultivators and demons in the valley couldn't leave, and the demonic cultivators who hunted vicious beasts outside couldn't bring their corpses in either. After more than a month, no other demonic cultivators dared to approach the heavenly Devil Valley. The demons were cut off from their source of essence blood, and breaking the formation was a long way off. In one of the caves in the Sky Devil Valley, a dozen half-step Yuanying were gathered. A burly demonic cultivator snorted. "I told you to act earlier, but you didn't agree. Now, we can't contact the demonic cultivators who hunted vicious beasts outside. They must have run away. Who would be willing to work for us now that we're cowards?" The demonic cultivators in the heavenly Devil Valley aren't very obedient either. "What should we do with the essence blood we collected? If we leave it there, it'll be drained of spirit energy every day. We can't just sit around and wait. Yuan demons have always been crafty and cunning. Make a decision now." The smaller and skinnier demons in the cave didn't say a word. The Yin demons didn't dare fight Lei Yen Zhenren head-on either. A demon who looked like a normal person tried to persuade them. "Won't we be going against the human race's wishes if we fight among ourselves here? Lei Yen Zhenren is a lightning attribute cultivator with minor combat arts and that violet gold jewel pagoda. Without the formation, we won't be able to take him down even if we attack together. We'll suffer heavy casualties." Another burly demon with a bloody face and sharp fangs asked, "Then what should we do? The sealing formation of the heavenly Devil Valley can only be broken by blood sacrifice. Now that we can't get the vicious beast's essence blood, can we use the blood of the sacred race to break the formation? If we can't, we'll continue to hide. No matter how strong Lei Yen Zhenren is, he can only live for another 1,000 years. To us, 1,000 years is nothing. We'll just wait until he dies." The human-like demon laughed. "Xueqi, you don't have to be so pessimistic. Breaking the formation doesn't necessarily require a blood sacrifice. It's just that the price is the least. There are many vicious beasts in the southern wasteland. It's too easy to get their essence blood. But in the current situation, the way to get it has been sealed. We can only use our last resort. Xueqi hurriedly asked, "There are other methods? I've lived for thousands of years. How come I've never heard of them?" "Don't lie to me." A burly demon with no flesh on his body laughed. "You're the one who's ignorant. You blood demons only know how to fight. You don't care about the sacred race's heritage. The sacred race has 9 great bloodlines, with 9 true demon patriarchs. Later on, they gave birth to countless other bloodlines. 4 saints with relatively high talent, the true demon phantoms in their spiritual sea were the 9 demon ancestors. We've been trapped in the Qianyuan world for too long. You've all forgotten the secrets of the sacred race." Xueqi was unconvinced. He shouted, "Boneblade, it's fine if you look down on me, but what right do you have to look down on my blood demon bloodline? My blood demon bloodline is the strongest of the Yang demon bloodline. Your bone demon bloodline is far inferior. By the way, Emogue, what does the method of breaking the formation have to do with the 9 true demon patriarchs of the sacred race?" The human-like demon laughed. "There's something you don't know. The 9 true demon patriarchs are brothers and sisters. They were all born of the heavenly devil progenitor. If all 9 true demon true forms appear, they can set up the 9 luminaries' heavenly devil formation and fuse the heavenly devil progenitor's true form. They can then borrow a trace of the heavenly devil progenitor's power. As long as it succeeds, what does a mere sealing array mean?" Xueqi finally understood. He asked again, "The heavenly devil progenitor is invincible in both the immortal and devil realms. A trace of his power can indeed break the formation. But why don't we borrow this trace of power to break the decimating heaven abyss's formation? There are many more Yuanying sacred race members in the decimating heaven abyss than in the heavenly devil valley." Boneblade glanced at him. "We only have half-step Yuanying cultivation. Summoning the heavenly devil progenitor's phantoms will require the sacrifice of a large number of sacred race members. You still want to break the decimating heaven abyss's formation? If everyone has peak Yuanying cultivation, sacrificing 100 or 80 peak Yuanying sacred race members might be able to break the current decimating heaven abyss's formation." Emogue sighed. "Boneblade is right. As long as we summon the heavenly devil progenitor's phantoms, all of us will probably lose our lives. 10,000 years ago, our elders chose the blood sacrifice because they didn't want to sacrifice too many sacred race members. At this point, we can only sacrifice ourselves for the sacred race's conquest of the Qianyuan world. Now that we've spoken, do you dare?" Xueqi slapped his chest. "We've stayed on demon-resisting mountain like rats for thousands of years. If we don't fight this time, our descendants will continue to be rats. If Taoist Lei Yan's demon beast flattens demon-resisting mountain at all costs, then our descendants won't even have the chance to be rats. For the sacred race's conquest of the Qianyuan world, and for our descendants to live well. It's just a life, what's the big deal?" The other blood demons also stood up, expressing that they didn't fear death for the sake of the sacred race. On the other hand, the Yin demons fell into deep thought. Xueqi scolded, "You Yin demons usually look down on us blood demons. How come you don't even have the courage to die at this critical moment? Righteous people were always butchers, but unrighteous people were mostly scholars. The smarter a person was, the more they liked to think too much. At the moment of life and death, they would always seek benefits and avoid harm. They didn't have the courage of a commoner." The other sacred race members expressed their willingness to give it a try. The Yin demons also didn't remain silent. A skinny sacred race member stood up and said, "For the sake of the sacred race, we are willing to sacrifice ourselves." Chapter 696. There was no joy on Emogue's face. Instead, his expression was solemn. "Since everyone agrees, let's begin the preparations. Of the sacred race's 9 bloodlines, we only have 1. The Yin and Yang bloodlines each have 4. Summoning the celestial devil progenitor's true form will require our strength. Each bloodline will require 1 half-step Yuanying and 2 late or peak golden core cultivators. All participating clansmen must have the projection of a true demon in their consciousness. In this way, almost half of our clan's upper echelons will be sacrificed. Since I was the one who proposed this method, I naturally want to participate as well. In the future, All matters of the sacred race will be handled by my younger brother, Mo Hui. Mo Hui hurriedly declined. Big brother, I also have the projection of an ancient true demon in my consciousness. I can take your place in controlling the 9 planets demon formation. The sacred race can do without me, but it can't do without you. The other demons also spoke up to dissuade him. The demon race had always been led by the demon race, with the other clans supporting them. Mo Gue had led the demon race for thousands of years. The 8 Yin and Yang bloodlines all obeyed his orders. Although Mo Hui wasn't weak, his prestige was far inferior to Mo Gue's. The other demons repeatedly dissuaded him, but Mo Gue didn't insist. They would lose most of their upper echelons to summon the celestial devil progenitor's true form. Even if they succeeded, there would be unrest among the demons. If they failed, they would need someone who could convince the masses to stabilize the situation. Apart from him, no one else could do this. Xueqi asked, what should we do with the demonic cultivators in Sky Devil Valley? They aren't on the same side as the sacred race. When we summon the celestial devil progenitor's true form, they might rebel. More than 40 golden core cultivators are a considerable force. We can't underestimate them. Why don't we take care of them first? Saga shook his head. If they're cornered, they'll inevitably cause casualties to the sacred race. It's not worth it for us to take action. Why don't we have the humans do it? If we order the demonic cultivators to fight, the humans will have a headache as soon as they leave Sky Devil Valley. Taoist Cloud Crane has already promised to spare the lives of those who surrender. If the demonic cultivators surrender, the humans will suffer. Killing them would be a betrayal of trust. We won't be at ease if we don't kill them, so we can only send people to watch over them. This will weaken the humans' forces' strength. Go back and discuss the candidates for the various branches of the sacred race to set up the array. I will deal with the demonic cultivators. All of the demons cupped their fists in acknowledgement before retreating. Mo Qing sent a voice transmission to the leader of the devil cultivators, asking him to come to the cave. Soon, a skinny cultivator with a fawning expression walked into the cave. After seeing Mo Qing, the skinny cultivator bowed and said, Greetings, Lord Mo Qing. May I know why you've summoned me? Mo Qing nodded. Wang Ming, we need you to lead the devil cultivators to disrupt the human race, then we'll take them by surprise. If we win this battle, I will exchange you with the true blood of the saints and allow you to marry a woman of the saints. From now on, you are a true member of the sacred race. No one will dare to say otherwise. Hearing this, Wang Ming bowed even harder, his head almost touching the ground. Thank you, Lord Mo Qing, for your nurturing. Xiaoxin will do her best to help the sacred clan conquer Beiyuan. Looking at him like this, Mo Qing felt a little disgusted. But now was the time for him to sacrifice his life, so he naturally couldn't show it. He pretended to praise him and patted Wang Ming's shoulder. As long as you do your best for the sacred clan will not treat you unfairly. Go, gather the devil cultivators and prepare to attack the human race. Whether you become a member of the sacred clan or continue to be a devil cultivator, it will depend on your performance. Wang Ming patted his chest and promised, Lord Mo Qing, don't worry. Although I'm not strong enough to deal with Lei Yen Zhenren, it won't be difficult to kill a half-step Yuanying human. Mo Qing suppressed his disgust and encouraged him with a few words before letting him leave. After Wang Ming left the cave, he shouted at the devil cultivators, You lazy bones, hurry up and get up. Lord Mo Qing has orders for you. Wang Ming didn't have any dignity in front of the devil cultivators, but in front of the human race, he always acted high and mighty. It was as if being a lackey of the devil race was an incomparably glorious thing, and he was a head above the other humans. If any devil cultivator dared to disobey him, they would suffer severe retaliation. The devil cultivators didn't dare to provoke him and could only come in front of him. Wang Ming raised his head and saw everyone's listless appearance. He scolded, Look at you guys. Dignified golden core cultivators can't even compare to low-level cultivators of the sacred clan. Lord Mo Qing wants to attack the human race. As long as we can make a great contribution, we will be treated the same as the sacred clan. If you don't do your best, be careful of your dog lives. The devil cultivators responded in a few scattered voices. Wang Ming looked as if he expected better from them and led them out of the heavenly devil valley. Wang Daoyuan and the others were cursing outside the heavenly devil valley. The devil race had been a coward for more than a month, But now they actually sent people out, and it was directed at them. Wang Daoyuan was worried that there would be an ambush, so he didn't dare to go forward. He only ordered the flying warships to attack the devil cultivators. In a moment, dozens of 4th-level upper-grade magic tools attacked the devil cultivators at the same time. These devil cultivators were strong enough and easily dodged the attacks. Only a few people were injured. After dodging the attacks, Wang Ming took out a pitch-black gourd and took the lead to fly towards Wang Daoyuan's carriage. The other devil cultivators didn't take it seriously and followed behind slowly. They were already prepared to surrender. Naturally, they wouldn't follow Wang Ming, this idiot, to their deaths. Wang Daoyuan muttered in his heart. Where did a peak golden core devil cultivator get the guts to directly rush over? When Wang Ming flew more than 30 miles in front of the warship, Wang Daoyuan waved his right hand. A huge dragon claw phantom appeared out of thin air and grabbed at Wang Ming. This was the True Dragon Body Tempering Technique supplementary spell, called True Dragon Sky Breaking Claw. The dragon claw phantom carried the might of a true dragon. Wang Ming was stunned. He thought that his strength wasn't weak. He didn't expect that the human race had such a powerful figure besides Lei Yan Zhenren. He had rich battle experience and didn't panic. The black gourd in his hand spewed out black sword lights. This gourd was a tool-nurturing gourd. There should be a few flying swords inside. The power of this sword light was quite strong. Wang Daoyuan's illusory dragon claw also fell apart after breaking through all the sword lights. His casual attack had such power. Wang Ming didn't dare to go forward and court death. Wang Daoyuan wouldn't let it go. He shouted, "Those who surrender will be spared. Those who resist will have their souls extracted and refined." His roar was also mixed with the power of the tiger roar soul-subduing technique. However, these devil cultivators were known for their powerful divine senses. They weren't shocked to the point of losing their minds. They were just extremely afraid of this voice and didn't dare to move forward. On the human race's side, the other flying warships wouldn't just watch. They began to surround the other devil cultivators. Wang Ming was fascinated by Mo Zhao's plan and wanted to make a name for himself. At this time, he didn't escape. Instead, he attacked Wang Daoyuan. 7 black long swords flew out of the gourd and attacked the flying warship. In an instant, 300-foot-long feathers made of silver flames appeared on Wang Daoyuan's body. These were the feather blades of the Golden Rock Fighting Dragon technique. He left the flying warship and controlled all the silver feathers to attack Wang Ming. Wang Ming was still afraid of death. He didn't dare to exchange injuries. He called back the black long swords to block the feathers. He turned into a cloud of black smoke and tried to escape. The silver feather struck the 7 flying swords, shattering them. There were still more than 100 feathers left. They continued to move forward and finally hit Sky Devil Valley's defensive formation, causing it to fluctuate. Wang Daoyuan turned into a silver rock and chased after the black smoke. Soon, the rock caught up to the black smoke. It stretched out 2 sharp claws and grabbed at the black smoke. Wang Ming immediately appeared. The rock's claws just happened to grab his shoulder blades. This was the dragon capturing claw of the Golden Rock Fighting Dragon technique. It could capture even dragons, let alone a weak soul demon. Chapter 697. Wang Daoyuan, in the form of a rock, grabbed Wang Ming with its eagle claws and circled him in front of the demonic cultivators. These demonic cultivators originally didn't want to risk their lives for the demons, but now they were surrounded by humans. The demons had no intention of attacking, and their leader was captured alive. Resistance was meaningless. Taoist Cloud Crane shouted, "Those who surrender will be spared. Those who resist will have their souls extracted and refined." Hearing this, the demonic cultivators immediately put away their magic tools and dispersed their spells. They stopped in the air. Taoist Cloud Crane asked, "Who is your leader?" A demonic cultivator answered carefully, "It's the guy under the rock's claws. This dog is addicted to being a dog for the demons. He usually uses the demons to bully us. We have long wanted to surrender, but he is determined not to. There were a few fellow Taoists who wanted to escape and surrender to you, but they were caught and executed by him." Wang Ming was held down by Wang Daoyuan, but he was still cursing, "You lowly humans, surrender to the saints now and you will have a chance to live." If you persist in going about things the wrong way, you and your families will become food for the sacred race when they wipe out the northern abyss. Wang Daoyuan heard this and cursed. Where did this animal come from? He had even forgotten who his ancestors were. The demons sent you out to die, and you still think it's honorable? Now that you've been captured by me, why didn't the demons come out to save you? You don't want to be a proper human, but you insist on being a dog for the demons, and you still feel proud? Abandoned by the demons, Wang Ming still didn't repent. I died for the cause of the saints. When they sweep Beiyuan in the future, they will definitely resurrect me. When that time comes, I will be able to shed this lowly human blood and become a noble saint. Hearing this, Wang Daoyuan knew that this was a hardcore lackey who would never change his mind. Killing him directly would be too easy for him. The eagle claws tore Wang Ming to pieces. Then, he took out a soul-capturing bottle and cast an evil cultivator's spell to capture his soul into the soul-capturing bottle. He even put in a wisp of Gui water death flame. Wang Daoyuan's soul let out a series of blood-curdling screams, but Wang Daoyuan remained unmoved. Since you've betrayed the human race and willingly become a lackey for the demon race, you should be prepared to have your soul extracted and refined. Don't worry, I won't let you die now. I will let you see the destruction of the devil race with your own eyes, and then use the spiritual fire to burn you to ashes. Then, he sealed the soul-capturing bottle and put it into the spirit orb. The faster the flow of time, the longer he had to suffer. After dealing with Wang Ming, Wang Daoyuan asked the surrendered devil cultivator, "How is the situation in the heavenly devil valley?" A demon cultivator with graying temples bowed and said, "Sky Devil Valley's source of essence blood has been cut off, and we're trying to come up with a countermeasure." The leaders of the devil race had been arguing fiercely over the past few days, and they often parted on bad terms. The demons don't like us, so we don't know much about them. Wang Ming, on the other hand, often meets with the demon puppets, so he might know more. Wang Daoyuan nodded and took out Wang Ming's soul, using the soul-searching technique to check his memories. From his memories, he learned that the devil race treated him like a dog, and didn't let him know any useful information. This time he was sent out to die. Wang Daoyuan told the other human cultivators the information he obtained from the soul-searching technique. Taoist Cloud's word asked, "The devil race is now in need of manpower, but they threw these devil cultivators out to die in vain. I'm afraid they're going to make a big move." Everyone agreed, but they didn't know what big move they were going to make. The only thing the devil race was thinking about now was how to open the sealing formation of the heavenly devil valley. Although the formation had been damaged and repaired, its power was much weaker than before. But the foundation was left behind by the ancient powerhouses, and without the means to break the formation, it was impossible to break it with brute force. However, the devil race was also a powerful race with wisdom and heritage comparable to the human race. They had many different kinds of heritage, so Wang Daoyuan wasn't sure if they had other means. He asked Taoist Cloud Crane, "Martial Uncle, our divine weapon pavilion has been dealing with the devil race for tens of thousands of years. Apart from the blood sacrifice, do the devil race have any other means to break the sealing formation of the heavenly devil valley?" Xueqi was a brute, and most of his memories were of fighting. There were very few secrets and profound heritage of the devil race. Taoist Cloud Crane shook his head. "The devil race has many means, and we only have a few. I can't say for sure." With the devil race hiding inside, the human race didn't have any good ideas, so they could only bombard the devil race's defensive formation when they had nothing better to do. The cultivators of the Celestial Arcanum sect also rushed over and tried to break the formation outside the heavenly devil valley. As for the devil race cultivators, there weren't many cultivators in the Fiend Suppression City to watch over them. Wang Daoyuan sent them to the Ascension Valley, but he couldn't leave the 10,000 corpse Taoist idle. These soul demon cultivators were the most suitable for him to watch over. He only warned him not to kill these devil race cultivators and refine them into corpses. His corpses were mostly vicious beasts, and his standards were higher now. He didn't care about these weak-bodied fellows. Outside the heavenly devil valley, the crowd busied themselves for more than 2 months. They broke through many formations and advanced more than 30 kilometers. The devil race had made ample preparations, and the area within 500 kilometers of the heavenly devil valley was filled with formations. At this rate, it would take at least 8 to 10 years to break through all the formations. At this moment, More than a dozen half-step Yuanying devil race cultivators were gathered in a cave inside the heavenly Devil Valley. Mo Gue asked, "How are the preparations for each faction's formation?" Mo Hui stood up and answered, "The magic demon faction is ready. 2 late-stage golden core clansmen, and I can already summon the projection of the 10,000 spell true demon." Mo Gue nodded and said a few words of encouragement. The other devil race cultivators also expressed that they could summon the 9 great true demons. "Since that's the case, everyone, go and make your preparations. I've calculated that there will be a solar eclipse in a month's time. On that day, the yang qi will decline and the yin qi will be abundant. At that time, the sealing formation of the heavenly Devil Valley will be weakened, and our sacred race's methods will become stronger. Without the sun's suppression on the devil qi, our chances of summoning the heavenly devil progenitor's true form will greatly increase. That day will be our sacred race's last chance." The other devil race cultivators responded and retreated, making their final preparations to summon the heavenly devil progenitor's true form. A month later, the sun rose as usual. But at noon, the sun began to show signs of waning. Everyone was used to this. The solar eclipse in Beiyuan Xiuxian occurred once every 60 years, and the change in time was extremely small. It was also a method used by Beiyuan to keep track of time. The cultivators here had lived for several hundred years and had seen many solar eclipses. They didn't find it strange and busied themselves with their own work. However, everyone soon felt that something was wrong. The formation became stronger and stronger, and it became more and more difficult for them to break it. At noon, the sun had completely disappeared, and the sky was full of stars. The whole earth became dark, and only the starlight was left. Wang Daoyuan released the scarlet-feathered crow and had it turn into a sun, flying high in the sky. Near the heavenly Devil Valley, there still seemed to be a sun. The formation laid down by the devil race returned to its original power. At this time, 9 true devil phantoms that were several thousand feet tall suddenly appeared in the heavenly Devil Valley. Wang Daoyuan was no stranger to these things. He had seen them in devouring spirit and blood flames consciousness. However, Daoist Xuantian's expression changed greatly. "This is the devil race's 9 luminaries' heavenly devil formation. They didn't fight with us, but spent a huge price to lay down this formation. They must want to use the solar eclipse as an opportunity to break the heavenly Devil Valley sealing formation." At this time, a purple-gold exquisite pagoda flew over from the north. At this time, the exquisite pagoda had become 3,000 feet tall and was pressing down on the heavenly Devil Valley. A pitch-black light barrier appeared above the heavenly Devil Valley, blocking the exquisite pagoda. Daoist Thunderflame's voice came. "Dao Yuan, inject the golden crow's flame into the exquisite pagoda to suppress the yin qi in the formation. Everyone else, inject spiritual power into the exquisite pagoda to help me suppress the devil phantoms." Wang Daoyuan immediately took out the meteoric flame controlling gourd and the vermilion bird fan, guiding a wisp of the scarlet-feathered crow's flame into the gourd. Then, red and gold flames spurted out, and under the guidance of the vermilion bird phantom, rushed into the exquisite pagoda. The exquisite pagoda shone with a red and gold light, and its power increased greatly, but it still couldn't break the formation. A moment later, the 9 true devil phantoms turned into black fog and gathered together. The black fog slowly turned into a devil phantasm that was 10,000 feet tall. This devil phantasm was still growing, and its head had already reached into the 9 heavens' astral wind. After half a cup of tea's time, the stars in the southern sky were covered by the devil phantasm. Chapter 698. In Sky Devil Valley, the 9 half-step Yuanying demons used their bodies as the base of the array. Beside each base, there were 2 golden core late-stage or peak-stage demons who were constantly injecting their spiritual energy into the bodies of the half-step Yuanying demons. The bodies of the 27 demons shriveled at an extremely fast speed. On each base of the array, there was a plume of black smoke that was injected into the huge demonic shadow in the sky. The other golden core demons were not idle either. They were guarding the defensive array of Sky Devil Valley. They were injecting their spiritual energy into the eye of the defensive array. With the purplish gold pagoda above, many human cultivators were still injecting their spiritual energy into the pagoda. The spiritual energy provided by Sky Devil Valley's spirit veins alone was not enough to withstand such a powerful force. The demonic shadow in the sky was still very blurry, and only a rough outline could be seen. Most of the demonic shadow's body had already extended into the nine heavens atmosphere, and its width was already several thousand feet. Cultivators tens of thousands of miles away could see a huge black shadow. Then, the black shadow began to shrink and become clearer. Spiritual Master Lei Yan's face turned serious. He took out the purple thunder divine flame and injected it into the purplish gold pagoda. He shouted at Wang Daoyuan, "Daoyuan, give me the lightning element spiritual energy." Wang Daoyuan activated his minor theurgy, and all the spiritual energy within a radius of 200 miles was under his control. Although the spiritual energy was violent, it did not have the ability to resist the minor theurgy. Wang Daoyuan converted all the spiritual energy into wood and fire element spiritual energy, and then fused them into lightning element spiritual energy, and injected it into Spiritual Master Lei Yan's purple sea of fire. With sufficient spiritual energy, the Sea of Fire expanded rapidly and covered the entire Sky Devil Valley. However, the demonic shadow was not affected at all. Only the defensive array of Sky Devil Valley kept emitting a sizzling sound. The black defensive light shield kept flickering under the burning of the purple flames. However, this defensive array was not ordinary. In addition, there were more than 100 golden core demons injecting spiritual energy into it. Everyone attacked together, but they still could not break the array. After a few minutes, the demonic shadow shrunk to a height of 100 feet. At this moment, the demonic shadow's facial features could be seen clearly. His face was similar to a human's, and he had two blood-red horns on his head, which were shaped like cow horns. Behind his back was a pair of black wings. The muscles on his body bulged, making him look very strong. Previously, the demonic shadow only looked scary because it was too big. At this moment, the demonic shadow was emitting a terrifying power. Everyone's faces were filled with fear. The spiritual pearl in Wang Daoyuan's sea of consciousness also emitted complex emotions. There was anger and fear. The 9 streams of black gas in Sky Devil Valley continued to replenish the demonic shadow's energy. The demonic shadow raised his right hand and waved it gently at the Sky Devil Valley below. This wave of his hand contained a mysterious power. Many humans felt the spiritual energy in their bodies go out of control. Wang Daoyuan's minor divine ability was instantly broken by this mysterious power. Taoist Master Lei Yan shouted, "Quickly withdraw your spirit energy." Hearing this, everyone immediately withdrew their magic tools and retreated. Taoist Thunderflame absorbed the purple sea of flames into the exquisite pagoda. After absorbing a large amount of spiritual energy, the exquisite pagoda flickered with a dazzling purple light. He withdrew the exquisite pagoda to prevent it from being destroyed by the demonic shadow's attack. The demonic shadow's right hand fell, and the entire demon-resisting mountain shook violently. The nearby mountains were directly shattered. The formation that bound Heaven Abyss to the south was constantly flickering. Black gas surged wildly, forming a huge black vortex. Some of the black gas even passed through the binding formation, penetrating and entering the demonic shadow's body. The rock layers on the ground of Sky Devil Valley also shattered, and a golden 8 trigrams appeared out of thin air. The large number of defensive formations that the demons had set up around Sky Devil Valley were also instantly broken, and the formation cores were shattered into pieces. A simple wave of the demonic shadow's hand had such power. If his real body descended, killing the Yuanian cultivators would be as easy as blowing off dust. This 8 trigrams covered the entire Sky Devil Valley, and was not affected by the demonic shadow's attack at all. The demonic shadow withdrew his right hand, clenched it into a fist, and smashed it at the 8 trigrams. Under this attack, the 8 trigrams shattered, and colorful spiritual energy surged out from below. This spiritual energy made human cultivators feel very uncomfortable, and it was demonic energy. After the demonic shadow broke through the 8 trigrams, his energy was almost exhausted, and he became extremely dim, as if he would turn into a puff of smoke at any time. He turned his head and glanced at Wang Daoyuan. Wang Daoyuan felt as if someone was strangling his neck. His blood stopped flowing, his brain stopped thinking, and his soul seemed to be frozen. The demonic shadow raised his right hand again, and swung it at him. But his energy was already exhausted, and before his right hand could land, it had already dissipated. Wang Daoyuan sat down on the deck of the flying warship, his entire body covered in cold sweat, his face pale, and he panted heavily. Lei Yan Zhenren glanced back at him, and seeing that he was fine, he was relieved. While the demonic shadow was attacking the seal of Sky Devil Valley, Lei Yen Zhenren had not been idle, and had been constantly injecting spiritual energy into the purple gold jewel pagoda. The moment the demonic shadow dissipated, the jewel pagoda smashed towards the top of Sky Devil Valley with a sky full of purple lightning. In Sky Devil Valley, the demons who had set up the 9 luminaries' heavenly demon formation were already exhausted, and had turned into piles of ashes. As for the demons who had been injecting spiritual energy into the defensive formation, they had fled in all directions the moment the demonic shadow attacked. The defensive formation had also been completely destroyed by the demonic shadow's attack. The demons sealed below Sky Devil Valley had not yet come out, and Sky Devil Valley was at its weakest. If this attack had succeeded, it would have wiped out all the remaining demons in Sky Devil Valley. Even if the sealed nascent soul stage devils were to escape, without the assistance of other devils, they would be all alone. At this moment, black, blood red, gray, blue, and white lights shot out from below Sky Devil Valley, and blocked the purple gold jewel pagoda. These 5 rays of light contained extremely powerful power of the laws. The purple gold jewel pagoda had been accumulating energy for a long time, but it was unable to suppress these 5 lights. Without needing Lei Yen Zhenren's instructions, Wang Daoyuan used a minor ability to convert lightning attribute spiritual energy, and sent it to the purple gold jewel pagoda. The jewel pagoda was still burning with purple flames. With the replenishment of lightning spiritual energy, the flames quickly grew stronger, and showed signs of suppressing the 5 demonic lights. Mo Gue and the other demons who had survived the disaster immediately acted, and helped the 5 demonic lights resist the purple gold jewel pagoda. After a stalemate of 10 breaths, Lei Yen Zhenren knew that he could not take down the demons, and could only withdraw the purple gold jewel pagoda, and shouted, "Retreat!" The 14 flying warships immediately turned around, and returned to demon-suppressing city. At this moment, 5 Yuanying demons flew out of Sky Devil Valley. 2 of them looked very similar to humans, and belonged to the 10,000 Law Demon clan. These 2 demons were a man and a woman. The man's body was covered with blue lightning, and the woman's body emitted waves of cold air. As for the other 3 demons, one looked very similar to Xueqi, and was clearly a blood demon. The other looked similar to a soul-devouring demon, and should be a soul-devouring demon. The last one was very large, and his body did not have much flesh, but his bones were abnormally thick, and should be of the Bone Demon clan. The man covered in lightning smiled. "Dao you of the human race, since you've come, why are you in such a hurry to leave? I did not expect that after 10,000 years, such a person could still appear in the human race. Why not spar with us?" Just as he finished speaking, the 5 Yuanying demons chased after Lei Yen Zhenren. At the same time, south of Decimating Heaven Abyss, under a tall plum tree, 2 cultivators dressed in black and white robes were drinking wine. Suddenly, the black chi inside Decimating Heaven Abyss surged violently, and the 2 released their consciousness waves to check the situation inside Decimating Heaven Abyss. The wine cup in their hands fell on the short table, but they did not notice. The white-robed elder sucked in a breath of cold air. "The aura of the Sky Devil, what are these demons doing?" A moment later, his expression changed greatly. "Not good. The ceiling formation I set up in Sky Devil Valley was broken by the Sky Devil." The black-robed elder shook his head. "The aura of the Sky Devil has disappeared. It should be the demon's 9 luminary Sky Devil formation, borrowing the power of the Sky Devil to break the formation and release the sealed demons. I wonder if the juniors north of Decimating Heaven Abyss can stop the demons." Chapter 699. To the north of Decimating Heaven Abyss, 5 Yuanying demons were pursuing Daoist Thunderflame. With Daoist Thunderflame's strength and lightning attribute speed, escaping was a piece of cake. The speed of the Yuanying demons was naturally much faster than a high-grade 4th-grade warship. If he were to escape, all the Golden Core cultivators on the 14 warships would die here. Daoist Thunderflame had no choice but to cast spells to block the demons' pursuit and buy time for the warships. However, the warship's speed was still too slow. After fleeing to the northwest for more than 10,000 miles, they were entangled by the demons. Escape was no longer possible. Daoist Thunderflame smiled bitterly. "Everyone, Dao Yu, I'm afraid we'll have to fight to the death here." Daoist Cloudsword took out his Tai sword. "I've already prepared for this. I've lived for more than 800 years. Dying a few years earlier isn't a big deal." Taoist Shen Tian also took out a yin-yang compass with a calm expression. Taoist Cloud's Word took out a crafting cauldron with 8 trigrams carved on it. Taoist Han Shuang took out a feather fan, but its feathers and handle were sparkling and translucent. It was unknown what material it was made of. Taoist Shen Tian continued, "Our potential is limited. It's not a pity if we die here. It's just that Martial Nephew Daoyuan and Martial Nephew Swordless are still young. Martial Nephew Daoyuan, you and Martial Nephew Swordless should leave. If we lose, we'll take Shen Jiuxiao and Martial Nephew Fei Xue and escape from Beiyuan. In the future, we'll break through the Yuanying realm and come back to exterminate the demons." Wang Daoyuan smiled. "Seniors, there's no need to be so pessimistic. The Golden Core demons have suffered heavy casualties. Their numbers are far less than ours. These Yuanying demons suffered from the impact of the demonic shadow, and may not be able to exert their full strength now. Seniors, with your inherited artifacts and other half-step Yuanying cultivators, it's not necessarily impossible to resist the Yuanying demons." Taoist Thunderflame also said, "Since it's already like this, there's no need to think about leaving any path of retreat. If they were defeated, Dao Yuan and the others would not be able to escape either. Everyone, Dao Yu, your descendants will become livestock raised by the demons and be killed by them. Or will you continue to live honorably? Let's fight here." Then, he took out a purple gold whip and attacked the lightning demon. The 4 sect masters also followed closely behind with the heirloom artifacts left behind by their ancestral master. Taoist Mo Yang and the other 8 half-step Yuanying cultivators also followed to help the 4 sect masters. 3 half-step Yuanying cultivators were holding back a Yuanying devil. There were not only Yuanying among the demons, but also half-step Yuanying and late-stage Aurus core cultivators. The Thunder Devil and Ice Devil of the 10,000 Laws Devil were extremely powerful. Lei Mo, who was fighting Adept Lei Yan, had an extremely strong defense against lightning magic. Although he was at a disadvantage, Taoist Thunderflame wouldn't be able to take him down in a short time. The Ice Demon was slightly weaker, but he was also extremely difficult to deal with. Taoist Master Han Shuang and the other 2 half-step Yuanying cultivators attacked together, but they were also unable to resist. The retired emperors of Zhou and Qin took out their heirloom artifacts and went to help. 5 half-step Yuanying cultivators and 3 heirloom artifacts were barely able to resist. The other 3 demons were much weaker. Although the 3 half-step Yuanying cultivators were being suppressed, they didn't show any signs of defeat. Even first-rate Aurus core cultivators weren't qualified to participate in a battle between Yuanying cultivators. Their strongest attacks weren't enough to injure the Yuanying demons. Even the slightest aftershock could severely injure them. Going up with this kind of battle strength was no different from suicide. Among the remaining human cultivators, only Wang Daoyuan and Taoist Swordless could intervene. Wang Daoyuan shouted, "Other cultivators, listen up. Kill all the demons below Yuanying level. Leave none alive." The other cultivators nodded and rode the flying warship to attack the Aurus core demons. Wang Daoyuan left the flying warship and prepared to launch a sneak attack on the Yuanying demons. The lightning demon and the ice demon were too strong. He wasn't strong enough to fight them. The bone demon and the blood demon had strong bodies. He didn't have the ability to injure them. If he couldn't injure them, a sneak attack would be meaningless. Wang Daoyuan's target was the Yuanying soul-devouring demon. At that moment, he discovered a trace of spiritual sense fluctuations 30 miles behind Taoist Master Lei Yan. However, the battle between Taoist Master Lei Yan and the lightning demon was filled with flashes of lightning and thunderclaps. It was easy to overlook these fluctuations. This was most likely a demon trying to launch a sneak attack. Taoist Master Lei Yan was the backbone of the human race. If the sneak attack succeeded, the morale of the human race would instantly collapse. Wang Daoyuan couldn't pinpoint the exact location of the demon. He could only use the Gue water hellfire to build a wall of fire behind his master. A moment later, a few thin needles formed from spiritual sense crashed into the wall of fire and were burned into nothingness. This was a technique of the Yin demons. They were good at hiding. Wang Daoyuan couldn't find the demon at all. Taoist Master Lei Yan transmitted, "Daoyuan, 50 miles to the northwest." This spiritual sense attack came from there. Upon receiving his master's message, Wang Daoyuan immediately used the Black Tortoise Purgatory to cover an area of 50 miles to the northwest. Under the black flames, the figure of a demon appeared in the Black Tortoise Purgatory. This demon was about 3 meters tall, thin, and had a pair of large black wings. Wang Daoyuan recognized this demon. It was the black-winged demon of the Yin demons. The black demon's robe was made from the black-winged demon's wings. This black-winged demon's cultivation was half a step into the Yuanying realm, slightly higher than Wang Daoyuan. However, the Gue water hell flame restrained spiritual sense attacks. The power of laws of the Yuanying demons was too strong. The high-grade 4th-grade Gue water hell flame could only weaken their spiritual sense, but not completely destroy it. However, dealing with this half a step into the Yuanying realm wasn't a problem. The black-winged demon also knew the power of the Gue water hell flame and didn't use spiritual sense attacks. The pair of large wings on its back spread out and circled the Black Tortoise Purgatory. The Black Tortoise Purgatory was cut open by the wings, and the black-winged demon escaped. This demon's concealment ability was too strong. It could kill human cultivators at any time. Naturally, it couldn't be allowed to escape. Wang Daoyuan's body ignited with silver flames. The flames turned into a rock and chased after the black-winged demon. He didn't expect the demon to be so fast and agile. Wang Daoyuan wasn't skilled enough and couldn't catch up. However, the black-winged demon didn't run away. Instead, it flew around Wang Daoyuan, playing with him. Wang Daoyuan couldn't bear such a shame and humiliation. His whole body flickered with white light, and his whole person turned into a ball of light. Soon the light dissipated. What appeared in front of the black-winged demon was no longer Wang Daoyuan, but a white dragon more than 300 feet long. This white dragon had 4 claws and 5 fingers. It had 2 forked horns on its head. It was no different from a real dragon. This was the dragon transformation technique of the true dragon body forging technique. Wang Daoyuan had been cultivating the true dragon body forging technique for some years. Even if he cultivated in the Jade Dragon Spring, a place rich in dragon chi, he could barely transform into a dragon shape. After transforming into a dragon, he used the true dragon flight technique. His speed was far faster than before. The black-winged demon wanted to escape this time, but his speed wasn't enough. 1 demon and 1 dragon chased in the air. After more than 10 breaths, the white dragon caught up with the black-winged demon. At this time, the black-winged demon wanted to launch a spiritual sense attack. The white dragon opened its mouth and let out a dragon roar. The human cultivators only felt a little shocked and weren't affected too much. But those demons below the Yuanying realm couldn't circulate their spiritual power smoothly. Divine beasts were the favored children of heaven and earth. They were born with extremely strong power of law. The demons were a foreign race and were suppressed by the laws of this world. Therefore, spells related to divine beasts were especially restrained by the demons. The black-winged demon was the main target. He was shocked by the dragon roar. The white dragon took the opportunity to grab the black-winged demon's 2 wings with 2 dragon claws. The other 2 dragon claws grabbed the black-winged demon's body. The black-winged demon wanted to struggle, but he couldn't move. With a strong tear, the 2 wings were torn off. Putting away the wings, the 2 dragon claws flew out and tore the black-winged demon's body into pieces. Black flames gushed out and burned the corpse, making it difficult for his soul to escape. Chapter 700. Wang Daoyuan transformed into a white dragon and used the suppressive power of the mythical beast to easily kill a demigod Yuanying demon. This caused the other demons to turn pale with fright. This strength was enough to pose a threat to the Yuanying demons. Especially the Yuanying soul-devouring demon, whose physical body was weak. If the sneak attack succeeded, he could be severely injured. Opposite him was Taoist Master Shintian and 2 other demigod Yuanying demons from the Archaic Mysteries sect. The Archaic Mysteries sect's inheritance included formations, aura divination, etc., all of which consumed a lot of spiritual sense. Therefore, the Archaic Mysteries sect's cultivators always had the strongest spiritual sense among their peers. They were also very good at dealing with spiritual sense attacks. The soul-devouring demon used his spiritual sense to condense hundreds of needles the size of a cow's hair. Taoist Master Shintian activated his yin-yang compass and formed a taiji diagram that blocked most of the needles. Some of the needles were even converted into spiritual sense and absorbed by the yin-yang compass. The other two demigod Yuanying demons also took out their magic tools and neutralized a small portion of the needles. The archaic mysteries sex cultivators had a much easier time dealing with the soul-devouring demon. Seeing this, Wang Daoyuan decided that his next target would be the soul-devouring demon. Wang Daoyuan's dragon body was wrapped in a layer of Gui water hellfire to defend against spiritual sense attacks. He also used the vermilion bird fire control technique and used the red yang primordial fire to condense a vermilion bird phantom. The red yang primordial fire was very effective against all demons. He charged towards the Yuanying soul-devouring demon. The soul-devouring demon panicked. Although he was a Yuanying demon, his physical body was too weak. The three demigod Yuanying demons in front of him were enough to hold him back. Wang Daoyuan's body was full of techniques to counter demons. He could seriously injure him. If he was seriously injured in this situation, he could very well die here. Taoist Master Lei Yan was fighting the lightning demon with his purple gold whip. The purple gold jewel pagoda had not been used. If any Yuanying demon made a mistake, the jewel pagoda would directly hit him. The other four Yuanying devils didn't even dare to use their full strength against the half-step Yuanying human. Wang Daoyuan flew near the Yuanying soul-devouring demon. The soul-devouring demon waved its hand and shot out a black ghost head. This move was very similar to the spirit-devouring minor divine ability. Wang Daoyuan's understanding of this move was far beyond the average person. A sea of black flames instantly appeared in front of him. After the ghost head entered it, its divine sense was constantly weakened. Yuanying's power of law was too strong, and the Gui water death flame was unable to incinerate it in a short time. Wang Daoyuan activated the 5 elements devil suppression seal and released a suppressive force to suppress the ghost head. At the same time, he also used escape techniques to stall for time. After all, he wasn't the only opponent of the Soul Eater demon. If he used most of his energy to deal with him, Master Shen was not someone to be trifled with. His master's purple gold exquisite pagoda was also ready to go. Sure enough, after the soul-devouring demon unleashed the ghost head, Taoist Shen and the other two immediately switched from defense to offense. Taoist Shen took out an extremely complicated folding fan made of an unknown metal. He directly threw it out to attack the soul-devouring demon. Wang Daoyuan had seen this fan before. Back when he was exploring the Yellow Spring Mystic Realm as a Foundation Establishment cultivator, Shen Zhouxiao had used this fan. The edges of the fan were extremely sharp, and the soul-devouring demon's body was weak. If he was hit by this, he would suffer heavy injuries. He didn't have any advantage in the first place. If he was injured again, he would be suppressed by these juniors. The soul-devouring demon hurriedly dodged. Wang Daoyuan controlled the vermilion bird phantom to attack the soul-devouring demon. The soul-devouring demon could only give up on chasing Wang Daoyuan. He turned into a cloud of black smoke and broke away from the encirclement. At this moment, Taoist Xuantian's purple gold exquisite pagoda smashed towards the black smoke with the blazing purple thunder divine flame. The purple gold exquisite pagoda was able to fight against the 5 Yuanying demons. Although it wasn't accumulating power now, its power couldn't be underestimated. If this hit, the soul-devouring demon would be in danger. Wang Daoyuan also took advantage of the situation. He used the true dragonflight technique to chase after the soul-devouring demon. As for the ice demon, he was surrounded by 5 half-step Yuanying demons. It was very difficult for him to escape and help. The blood demon and bone demon were in a similar situation. They couldn't free themselves. Left with no choice, Lei Mo took out a long sword flickering with blue lightning and attacked the purple gold exquisite pagoda. How could Taoist Shen let go of this opportunity? While Lei Mo was distracted, he whipped him. Lightning demon transformed into a bolt of lightning and tried to dodge, but he failed to dodge the whip. With a crisp sound, the whip struck his back, leaving behind a foot-long bloody mark. However, Lei Mo's whip didn't go to waste. The blue long sword still caught up with the purple gold exquisite pagoda and missed the soul-devouring demon. The soul-devouring demon was still affected by the purple thunder divine flame. At this moment, the 5 elements demon suppression seal smashed over. The soul-devouring demon wanted to extinguish the purple thunder divine flame, but he was hit by the 5 elements demon suppression seal. He didn't care about extinguishing the flames and took out a black bell to block the 5 elements demon suppression seal. At this moment, Wang Daoyuan had arrived. He swung his dragon tail and whipped the soul-devouring demon. Even though he was a Yuanying demon, he still let out a scream. Daoist Xuantian's attack also arrived. The 4 of them worked together to kill the soul-devouring demon. As long as they succeeded, they would have a chance to win. At this moment, Lei Mo shouted, "Mo Qing, ignore those golden core humans. Block that white dragon." Mo Qing got rid of Daoist swordless and pounced at Wang Daoyuan. The Myriad Arts Demon Clan was the most powerful and had the most tricks up their sleeves. At this moment, Wang Daoyuan felt weak all over. The qi and blood in his body were rapidly declining, and his bones and muscles were aching. This was the side effect of transforming into a dragon. After all, humans weren't dragons. After transforming into a dragon, one's physical strength would increase exponentially, and one's strength would also increase greatly when using dragon-related dharma spells. All of this came with a price. It was already good that he could last for half a cup of tea's time during his first dragonization. Wang Daoyuan's body shone with white light again, and he transformed into a human. At this moment, his entire body was sore and he couldn't use much of his physical strength. He could only rely on his dharma spells and natal dharma artifacts to defend himself. Seeing that Mo Qing was attacking him, he didn't dare to be careless. The vermilion bird phantom went forward, and the 5 elements demon suppression seal followed closely behind. Daoist swordless wouldn't let Mo Qing attack Wang Daoyuan so easily, so he followed closely behind Mo Qing. Seeing that his sneak attack was hopeless and he was about to be attacked from 2 sides, Mo Qing turned into a cloud of black gas and dissipated with the wind. After a breath's time, he appeared more than 25 kilometers away. Daoist swordless chased after him and continued to fight. Wang Daoyuan didn't have enough qi and blood. He took out a blood lotus seed from the spiritual pearl and swallowed it. His qi and blood quickly recovered. He didn't expect that the blood lotus seed he obtained from Demon Burial Mountain when he was in the Purple Mansion realm would still be useful now. At this moment, the soul-devouring demon appeared more than 200 kilometers away in the southeast direction. Half of his body was burning with the purple thunder divine flame. After being whipped by Wang Daoyuan's tail in his dragon form, he was probably half dead now. He didn't have much combat power left, so he could only try his best to suppress the flames and escape towards Sky Devil Valley. Wang Daoyuan, Daoist Shen, and the others were ready to help the cultivators of the Divine Weapon Pavilion deal with the Blood Demon. Seeing that the situation wasn't good, Lei Mo immediately sent a message to the other demons to prepare to retreat. Then his body flickered with blue lightning, and a few bolts of lightning as thick as buckets attacked Daoist Thunderflame. Daoist Thunderflame didn't panic and waved his whip to break all the bolts of lightning. Lei Mo turned into a bolt of lightning and fled toward the southeast direction. Ice Demon condensed a snow-colored spirit energy in his hand. After he waved his hand, a cold wind blew within 1,000 kilometers. There were also dense snowflakes floating down. These snowflakes were as sharp as knives, and a touch would leave a scar. The humans and demons didn't dare to fight anymore and fled the battlefield. At this moment, a blood-red light flew out from a Yuanying blood demon and attacked Wang Daoyuan. He immediately used the 5 elements demon suppression seal in front of him and used the golden rock flight technique to dodge, but the blood-red light was too powerful. The 5 elements demon suppression seal was directly shattered and turned back into 5 natal magic artifacts. The golden rock speed was far from enough. The blood-red light hit Wang Daoyuan's chest from the back. He fainted and fell heavily from the sky. Chapter 701. The place where Wang Daoyuan landed was still within the range of the ice demon's spell. The snowflakes that filled the sky were like small knives. Soon, he was covered in wounds. His body was so strong that the snowflakes could only leave some superficial wounds on him. The late-stage golden core cultivators who were fighting the demons were in a worse state. As long as they were touched by the snowflakes, they would suffer serious injuries. The cold qi in the snowflakes would also hurt their meridians and internal organs. Lei Yen took out the purple gold exquisite pagoda, and the purple flames on it quickly expanded into a sea of fire. The snowflakes left behind by the ice demon were quickly dispersed. Daoist Shen and a few other cultivators brought Wang Daoyuan and the 5 life-bound magic artifacts onto the flying warship. all the human cultivators returned to the demon suppression city, which was protected by an ancient formation. Relying on the formation, Lei Yan and the 4 sect masters could suppress the 5 Yuanying demons. After returning to the city, Lei Yan immediately brought Wang Daoyuan to an underground secret room in the city. There were large amounts of spirit stones, pills, and other resources stored here. It was the treasury of the demon suppression city. The 4 sect masters and the retired emperor of Zhou also followed to check on Wang Daoyuan's injuries. Lei Yan placed Wang Daoyuan on a stone bed and used his spiritual sense to check on his injuries. After a dozen breaths, Lei Yan's face was full of worry. The retired emperor of Zhou hurriedly asked, "Lei Yan, Dao Yu, what happened to Dao Yuan? Say something." Lei Yan sighed. What injured Dao Yuan was the blood demon's secret technique, the bloodthirsty heart-shattering blade. Hearing this, everyone fell silent. After tens of thousands of years of dealing with the demons, they had some understanding of their methods. The bloodthirsty heart-shattering blade was a special magic artifact formed by the blood demon's blood essence. After it entered the human body, it would fuse into the blood and absorb the power in the blood. When the power in the blood was exhausted, it would reform in the heart and return to the hands of the owner. Lei Yan sighed. It's very difficult to deal with the bloodthirsty heart-shattering blade used by cultivators of the same level. The bloodthirsty heart-shattering blade that had injured Dao Yuan had been used by Yuanying Bloodseeker. However, before Dao Yuan was hit, in order to replenish his qi and blood, he even ate a blood lotus seed. There was still a lot of blood qi energy in his blood that hadn't been refined yet. Now, the bloodthirsty heartbreaking blade had taken advantage of all of it. If Dao Yuan did not have the spiritual fire that could restrain the Devil Clan, he would probably be beyond saving at this time. Right now, his injuries were still slowly recovering, and it would take a few more days for the bloodthirsty heart-shattering blade to take shape. As long as he could wake up before then, there would still be a chance. Wings of the Wind Dao Yu. Whether or not Dao Yuan can survive this will depend on your Zhou clan's Nirvana secret technique. The Grand Emperor of the Zhou country was known as Taoist Windwing. His purple mansion phenomenon was a phoenix of the wind attribute, hence his name. Taoist Windwing nodded and said, "A mere Nirvana secret technique is nothing. It's just that Dao Yuan doesn't have the phoenix bloodline in his body. I'm a wind attribute cultivator, so I don't have the spirit fire of the phoenix bloodline. I'm afraid the Nirvana secret technique won't be of much use." Taoist Thunderflame shook his head. Human bloodlines are mixed. It's normal to have a bit of divine beast bloodline. Dao Yuan has the vermilion bird phenomenon, so he more or less has some vermilion bird bloodline. Normally, it's no different from not existing. Once the Nirvana secret technique is used, it will always have some effect. As for the spiritual fire of the phoenix bloodline, Dao Yuan should have it. Taoist Windwing nodded thoughtfully and did not say anything else. Everyone dispersed and patrolled the city defenses in case the Devil Clan came to sneak attack. At this time, a dark red energy was flowing in Wang Daoyuan's blood, continuously absorbing the spiritual force in the blood. Seemingly stimulated by the devil qi, the true dragon body tempering art operated on its own, continuously extracting dragon qi and life force from the azure dragon pearl. The 5-element spiritual force also slowly merged into the blood, suppressing the dark red energy. This bloodthirsty heartbreaking blade entered Wang Daoyuan's chest from the back of his heart. His heart meridians and internal organs suffered considerable injuries. As the life force gradually merged into the body, the internal injuries were rapidly recovering. 3 days later, Wang Daoyuan woke up. Most of the essence blood in his body was absorbed by the bloodthirsty heartbreaking blade. He only felt powerless all over. Taoist Thunderflame immediately flew in from the city wall. Taoist Windwing also followed closely behind. Seeing the two people's joyful appearance, Wang Daoyuan asked, "What happened?" Taoist Thunderflame hurriedly said, "You were hit by the Devil Clan's bloodthirsty heartbreaking blade. Whether or not you can keep your little life is still uncertain. Right now, the bloodthirsty heartbreaking blade has not reformed yet. You still have a chance to live." Taoist Windwing took out a jade slip. "Nephew-in-law, this is my Zhou clan's Nirvana secret technique, and also your only chance to live." Wang Daoyuan got up with difficulty. "No need, Zhou already gave this secret technique to me long ago." Finishing speaking, he took out the Scarlet Luan Nirvana fire from the space of the spirit pearl. Although this spiritual fire was not specially nurtured, but after staying in the space of the spirit pearl for so long, it also grew to the 4th level low grade. Using it to execute the Nirvana secret technique was not a problem at all. Taoist Windwing saw this spiritual fire and felt a little strange, but did not ask anything. He only said, "Since it's like this, there's no need for me to worry. I have a better understanding of the Nirvana secret technique, so I'll guard you here." Finishing speaking, he walked out of the secret room with Taoist Thunderflame. Wang Daoyuan stored the spiritual fire into his Zifu. When executing the Nirvana secret technique, the Scarlet Wan's Nirvana fire would burn his entire body. The 5 elemental spiritual fire had already grown to the limit of the 4th level high grade. If they were left in the Dantian, the Scarlet Wan's Nirvana fire would be suppressed. This Nirvana secret technique was only useful for the physical body. Relying on Nirvana to recover the soul's injuries was something that only pure-blooded phoenixes could do. Before executing the secret technique, he needed to first refine the Scarlet Wan's Nirvana fire. He converted all the spiritual chi in his body into water spiritual chi, suppressing the spiritual fire, and executed the 100 Spirits True Monarch secret technique to refine the spiritual fire. The Scarlet Wan's Nirvana fire was only 4th level low grade, and could not create any big waves in front of him. He only used 2 hours to completely refine the spiritual fire. Subsequently, he used the Scarlet Wan's Nirvana fire to refine all the spiritual chi in his body. This spiritual fire contained the power of the Scarlet Wan Divine Bird, and had some suppressive effect on the fiend race's methods. After making the preparations, Wang Daoyuan began to execute the Nirvana secret technique. All the spiritual chi in his body was ignited in an instant. The flames followed the meridians and spread to the whole body. The feeling of being burned by the flames was not too pleasant. Wang Daoyuan resisted the pain and guided the flames to burn all parts of his body. Very soon, the flames poured into his blood. Under the burning of the spiritual fire, the dark red energy in the blood fled rapidly, converging towards the heart. After half a quarter of an hour, all the dark red energy converged in the heart. Wang Daoyuan wanted to use the power of spiritual sense to draw this energy out of the heart. Unfortunately, he could not move it at all. He could only gather the Scarlet Wan's Nirvana fire in the heart as well, relying on the power of the flame to burn this energy. Receiving the stimulation of the spiritual fire, this energy rapidly transformed and quickly turned into a dark red knife. This knife was only an inch long, but the murderous aura it emitted was extremely strong. As soon as the knife took shape, it emitted a demonic red light. Under the illumination of the red light, Wang Daoyuan's heart was shattered into more than a dozen pieces. The knife broke open his chest and flew out. Wang Daoyuan did not care about the knife. His heart was already shattered, and the Nirvana secret technique was the only way to save his life. Once it failed, he would die without a doubt. The flames followed the blood and burned all over his body. The Nirvana secret technique had also reached the most critical moment. His body was almost completely burned. Without the protection of the physical body, it was difficult for his soul to survive alone. At this time, his blood was almost evaporated, and extremely small fiery red spots appeared. As soon as the flames encountered these golden spots, they burned even more vigorously. At the same time, the Nirvana power in the flames also became stronger. At this time, Wang Daoyuan's human form could no longer be seen. Only a bonfire could be seen. Suddenly, a phoenix cry sounded like a clear spring, and the flames quickly turned into the appearance of the Scarlet Wan Divine Bird. The surrounding spiritual chi quickly gathered in the secret room, and the flames continued to grow. After half a quarter of an hour, the flames gradually weakened and finally extinguished. Wang Daoyuan's figure condensed again. Chapter 702. Nirvana consumed a large amount of spiritual power, and the outer layer of the golden core was almost exhausted. Fortunately, the core inside was not consumed, as it was formed from the fusion of chi and blood. If the core was consumed, the cultivation realm would drop, and the strength of the body would also be affected. Even so, Wang Daoyuan felt a burst of emptiness. After experiencing nirvana, the impurities in the body were all removed. The pill toxins from taking pills for many years were also swept away. However, the spiritual power in the body was almost exhausted, and there was a feeling of emptiness, as if the body was hollowed out. He took out a few spiritual fruits from the space of the spirit pearl and ate them. He even drank a jar of 200-year-old spirit peach dew, and only then did he feel a bit better. Taoist Thunderflame and Taoist Windwing walked in from outside, sizing up Wang Daoyuan. Taoist Windwing smiled. This body is really not bad. How come you only gave birth to a child after so many years? Taoist Thunderflame followed up. You have the nerve to ask this. Isn't it because your Zhou family is too fierce, and my disciple doesn't dare to take concubines? Otherwise, with Daoyuan's body, he would have 180 children. Wang Daoyuan took out a set of clothes from the space of the spirit pearl and put it on. You two are over 1,000 years old, and you have the nerve to talk to me about this? All right, master, that bloodthirsty heart-shattering blade flew out. How is it now? Taoist Thunderflame took out the purple gold exquisite pagoda, pointing at the pagoda and smiling. This time, master is basking in your light. This bloodthirsty soul-rending blade is a special magic tool. It was also refined by the Yuanying blood demon, and can be considered a rank 5 magic tool. I used the purple gold exquisite pagoda to suppress it, and now it has been absorbed into the pagoda to be refined. If it can be completely refined, the exquisite pagoda can also borrow its power to rise to rank 5. This bloodthirsty soul-rending blade should have been yours, but now the situation is urgent, so I can only use it first. Wang Daoyuan waved his hand. The great cause of fighting demons is still the most important. If the purple gold exquisite pagoda can be restored, our overall strength should be able to suppress the demons. What I cultivate is not the blood demon technique, so it is useless for me to have the bloodthirsty soul-rending blade. Taoist Windwing stared at Wang Daoyuan's hair and asked, Daoyuan, is your family's ancestor related to my Zhou family? After using the Nirvana secret technique, the vermilion bird bloodline in your body was awakened, and red hair grew on your head. After Nirvana, his hair had been burnt to ashes. Now, only a little stubble of hair had grown out, so he hadn't noticed it. Using his divine sense, he found that there were indeed more than 10 strands of fiery red hair diagonally above his right ear. Before Wang Daoyuan could reply, Lei Yan Zhenren interrupted. The ancestors of the Wang family have always lived in Guangyuan County of the state of Zhao. Originally, the Zhou family's small branches were all in the western part of the state of Zhao. Don't flatter yourself. When has your Zhou clan ever produced someone with the vermilion bird bloodline? Even though the 5-colored phoenix was the empress of the phoenix tribe, its battle prowess was still no match for the vermilion bird. The human race's bloodline was special. Unlike the demonic beasts, those with the bloodline of divine beasts would have the chance to transform into divine beasts. Since he was unable to transform into a god beast, it did not make much of a difference whether he possessed the bloodline of a god beast or not. At most, it would increase his battle prowess by a little. Daoyuan doesn't lack this. The two were old enemies. Previously, Taoist Windwing had always used his seniority to suppress Taoist Lei Yan. Now, because Wang Daoyuan had married Zhou Wan, the two seniority was even. Taoist Lei Yan seized the opportunity to mock and ridicule. Taoist Windwing was older and naturally would not give in. The two began to expose each other's shortcomings. Wang Daoyuan asked, how were the casualties in this battle? The two had been happy because Wang Daoyuan had recovered. Now that Wang Daoyuan asked this question, the joy on their faces receded. Taoist Lei Yan sighed. The half-step Yuanying cultivators faced the Yuanying demons head-on. Other than old devil Windwing, everyone was injured. Taoist Master Han Shuang faced the ice demon head-on and was injured the most. Now, she can't even use half of her battle prowess. She's not young anymore. It won't be easy for her to recover. The peak golden core cultivators were fine. They didn't face the Yuanying demons head-on, so they weren't seriously injured. The late golden core cultivators suffered the most casualties. There were more than 120 late golden core cultivators. More than 20 died, more than 30 were seriously injured, and the rest had light injuries. When the battle was in our favor, these people left the flying warship and surrounded the golden core cultivators. When the ice demon escaped, he used a spell to cover their retreat. They didn't have time to escape and were affected. Less than half of them still had the strength to fight. The three fell into silence. After a while, Wang Daoyuan said, now that I've recovered, I just need to recover some spirit energy to heal them. They should be able to recover their battle prowess quickly. The haze on Taoist Lei Yan's face disappeared. I've been so worried these days that I forgot about your azure dragon pearl. We won't disturb you anymore. Quickly recover your spirit energy. When their injuries are healed, we'll go find the demons. The two walked out. Wang Daoyuan returned the 5 spirit energy seeds to his dantian. As for the Scarlet Phoenix Nirvana fire, it had already recognized a master. If it left its master again, it would affect its growth. This spirit fire had already reached the 4th level, so it didn't need to be stored in the space of the pearl. It wasn't suitable to store it in his dantian either, as it would be rejected by the 5 spirit energy seeds. He simply placed it in the vermilion bird vision on his Zifu. This way, it wouldn't reject the spirit energy seeds and could increase the power of the vermilion bird vision. After placing the spirit fire, Wang Daoyuan used the 5 spirit immortal transformation technique to recover his spirit energy. At this time, in a cave in Sky Devil Valley, 5 Yuanying demons and 5 half-step Yuanying demons were gathered together to discuss the next step. The Yuanying blood demon's expression suddenly changed. Oh no, I lost contact with my bloodthirsty heart-shattering blade. The Yuanying bone demon sighed. Devouring Heaven is heavily injured and won't be able to fight for a while. Blood Abyss has lost its strongest technique. 1 half-step Yuanying demon died, and now there are only 5 left. More than 10 late and peak golden core cultivators died. Now there are only 3 peak golden core cultivators alive, and all of them are heavily injured. There are still many mid and early golden core cultivators, but they would only be sending themselves to their deaths in this kind of battle. They can only defend Sky Devil Valley and use the formation to deal with the humans. Our demon race has always been led by the 10,000 Technique Demon Clan. Emoting, what do you think we should do? Lei Emo thought for a while and answered, we have suffered heavy casualties, and the humans aren't doing well either. Almost all half-step Yuanying demons are injured, and many late and peak golden core cultivators are also injured. Especially when Mo Bing used a spell to retreat, it caused many casualties. Now, the humans probably don't have much more cultivators than us who can fight. This battle can be considered a lose-lose. The humans can't attack Sky Devil Valley anymore, and we don't have the ability to break through demon-suppressing city. First, we set up a formation in Sky Devil Valley. With the 5 of us Yuanying, even if the purple gold jewel pagoda recovers to the 5th level, we can rely on the formation to deal with them. We will defend Sky Devil Valley to the death and drag it out with them. It doesn't matter even if we drag it out for decades or centuries. Sky Devil Valley is suitable for the sacred race to cultivate. If the formation that binds Absolute Heaven Abyss is not repaired for a long time, there will definitely be loopholes. At that time, the Yuanying in Absolute Heaven Abyss can come out to help. We only need 1 or 2 early Yuanying to come out, and the humans won't be able to resist. All the demons nodded in agreement. The humans had too many cultivators below Yuanying, and more than a dozen flying warships. Without an absolute advantage in terms of high-end battle strength, they couldn't afford to waste it. The heavily injured Yuanying soul-devouring demon asked, what's the background of that kid who can transform into a dragon? I originally thought that the sect masters of the 4 great sects were already unrivaled below Yuanying. I didn't expect this kid to be even more powerful than the 4 great sect masters. Which power is this cultivator from? Mo Ting cupped his hands and said, according to the devil cultivators who submitted to the sacred race, this person is Master Lei Yan's disciple in name, and is also a guest elder of Divine Weapon Pavilion. His own family is only a small power, and it's hundreds of thousands of miles away from here. This person has a lot of tricks up his sleeves. This dragon transformation technique should be an inheritance from the Valley of Beasts. His natal magic weapon is Master Fu Mo's inheritance. Chapter 703. Hearing this, the soul-devouring demon sighed. No wonder a peak golden core cultivator is so powerful. Turns out he's the disciple of Taoist Thunderflame and learned the inheritance of the Valley of Beasts. Taoist subduing demon is the mortal enemy of our sacred race. If we don't get rid of him, our sacred race won't be at ease. The other demons were also shocked by the name of Taoist subduing demon. Although they weren't old, they weren't even born during the chaos 10,000 years ago. But Taoist subduing demon's name was often mentioned by their elders. During the chaos 10,000 years ago, Taoist subduing demon was already a peak golden core cultivator. He once cooperated with human cultivators to inflict heavy losses on the Yuanying demons. The number of golden core demons who died under his hands was at least several hundred. Xueqi patted his chest and said, I stabbed the bloodthirsty heart-shattering blade into his body and destroyed his heart. This kid is dead for sure. Even a deity transformation cultivator can't save him. Hearing this, the demons were relieved. The current demon race couldn't be compared to 10,000 years ago, and couldn't withstand another Taoist subduing demon. Mo Ting ordered. Since that's the case, let's quickly set up the formation. Taoist Thunderflame isn't injured at all. With his strength, if he sneak attacks us, I'm afraid we'll lose our Yuanying. Everyone dispersed and began to repair the defensive formation. In the demon-suppressing city, Wang Daoyuan's spiritual power had almost recovered. He also practiced the true dragon body tempering art to increase his physical strength. After a long time, Wang Daoyuan got up and walked out of the secret room to the main hall in the center of the city. Only Taoist Thunderflame and Taoist Windwing were here. Seeing Wang Daoyuan, Taoist Thunderflame asked, How's your recovery? Wang Daoyuan cupped his hands and said, Master, rest assured. Disciple's spiritual power and physical body have completely recovered. May I know where the injured seniors are so disciple can heal them? Taoist Windwing continued. Lei Yan, you stay here and keep watch. As for the matter of healing, I'll bring Dao far away. Taoist Thunderflame didn't refuse. He couldn't heal anyway and couldn't help. Taoist Master Feng Yi brought Wang Daoyuan to a small courtyard on the west side of the demon-suppressing city, where a few cultivators from the Wind Snow Divine Palace lived. With a female cultivator here, the two of them couldn't just barge in. Taoist Windwing shouted, I've brought martial nephew Daoyuan to treat Taoist Han Shuang's injuries. Not long after, a middle-aged woman in the late gold core stage walked out of the courtyard. Bowing to Wang Daoyuan and Taoist Windwing, he said, Greetings, Senior Windwing and Dao Yu. My master is in the courtyard. Please follow me. The middle-aged woman led the two of them into the courtyard and came to the door of the main house. Before he even entered the house, he could already feel a burst of cold air. Without waiting for Wang Daoyuan to speak, an aged voice rang out from within the house. Windwing's Dao Yu, martial nephew Daoyuan, come in. When the two of them entered the house, the cold air became even more intense, and it was mixed with Densine Qi. An old woman was sitting cross-legged on the bed. It was Taoist Master Han Shuang. Taoist Master Han Shuang was not far from 900 years old. It was normal for her to age. But before, she had always looked like she was in her 30s. It was probably because she had taken the face-retaining pill. Now that the cold air of the demon race invaded her body, her vitality was excessively depleted. The face-retaining pill was merely a second-tier medicinal pill. It was also powerless to reverse the situation. Wang Daoyuan didn't directly take out the Azure Dragon Pearl. Instead, he brought the red-feathered crow out of the space of the spiritual pearl. The red-feathered crow felt the dense cold air and demon qi here. It was very uncomfortable. Its body emitted a reddish-gold light. The cold air and demon qi in the house suddenly dissipated. Under the light, Taoist Master Han Shuang's face also revealed a hint of relief. Wang Daoyuan drew out a wisp of reddish-gold flame from the red-feathered crow's body. Martial Uncle Han Shuang, you can borrow the spiritual fire of the golden crow's bloodline to get rid of the demon qi left by the ice demon. After the demon qi is completely removed, Disciple will use the Azure Dragon Pearl to heal you. Taoist Master Han Shuang nodded. Thank you, martial nephew Daoyuan. Leaving the red-feathered crow in the house, Wang Daoyuan and Taoist Master Feng Yi came to the courtyard. The middle-aged female cultivator from before brought tea. After an hour, demon qi and cold air were constantly emitted from the house. The courtyard was a little cold. The ground at the door began to frost. After a while, another burst of hot air gushed out, dispelling the cold air. After another hour, Taoist Master Han Shuang's voice came out from the house. Martial nephew Daoyuan, the demon qi in my body has been completely removed. Wang Daoyuan walked into the house, put away the red-feathered crow, and took out the Azure Dragon Pearl. A green dragon shadow flew out, spitting out a green light from its mouth, shining on Taoist Master Han Shuang. The green light contained a strong vitality. Soon, Taoist Master Han Shuang's face began to turn red, and her appearance gradually became younger. In less than half a cup of tea's time, her appearance returned to its previous appearance, but her face was still a little pale. Taoist Master Han Shuang waved her hand and said, "I've almost recovered. There are still many injured Dao Yu. Go treat them." Wang Daoyuan didn't refuse. After a few words with her, he left with Taoist Master Feng Yi. In order to ensure the humans' battle strength, Wang Daoyuan first treated the half-step Yuanying cultivators. The other half-step Yuanying cultivators weren't seriously injured. Only the 3 half-step Yuanying cultivators who were dealing with the ice demon had some demonic qi invading their bodies. The others only suffered superficial wounds. After absorbing some vitality, they more or less recovered. Many late-stage Aurus core cultivators were seriously injured. The spell that the ice demon cast before retreating injured many late-stage Aurus core cultivators. These people's situation was similar to Taoist Master Han Shuang's, but their injuries were much lighter. A month later, the half-step Yuanying and peak Aurus core cultivators on the human side had all recovered. More than half of the late-stage Aurus core cultivators had also recovered. The manpower that could be mobilized now had a slight advantage over the demons. However, the Yuanying cultivators were at a disadvantage in terms of numbers. Relying on half-step Yuanying cultivators to deal with Yuanying cultivators was like dancing on a knife's edge. The slightest mishap would result in heavy casualties. There was no need to take this risk. The demons didn't dare to rashly leave Heavenly Devil Valley. The humans also didn't dare to rashly attack Heavenly Devil Valley. The demons guarded Heavenly Devil Valley to the death, waiting for problems to arise with the decimating Heaven Abyss formation. The humans guarded Heavenly Devil Valley, waiting for the Violet Gold Jewel Pagoda to recover to the 5th level. After the savage beasts were massacred, their numbers sharply decreased. They couldn't cause much trouble. With the humans and demons in a standoff, the demonic cultivators didn't dare to show themselves. The entire southern wasteland fell into a strange silence. Taoist Master 10,000 Corpses didn't care about this at all. He still sent out his refined corpses as usual to capture savage beasts and increase the number of refined corpses under his command. After this silence lasted for 2 years, a powerful pressure suddenly appeared in Heavenly Devil Valley. Then, a purple thunderbolt fell from the sky, striking the main hall in the center of the city. After the thunderbolt fell, there was no more movement. The main hall in the center of the city was where Master Lei Yan was. Wang Daoyuan hurriedly ran over to check the situation. Before entering the main hall, he heard Master Lei Yan's laughter. Walking into the main hall, he saw Master Lei Yan holding the Violet Gold Jewel Pagoda, stroking his beard and laughing. At this time, the Jewel Pagoda was emitting a pressure comparable to that of a Yuanying cultivator. It was obviously a 5th-level magic tool. Wang Daoyuan's face was full of joy. "Congratulations, Master. The Jewel Pagoda has finally recovered to the 5th level." Before Master Lei Yan could speak, he heard a child's voice. "Junior Lei Yan, is this your disciple? Why isn't he cultivating our treasured cauldron sex cultivation method? The aura on his body is also very chaotic." Master Lei Yan respectfully replied. "In reply to Ancestor Linglong, this is indeed my in-name disciple. His name is Wang Daoyuan. The cultivation method he cultivated was obtained by himself. It is very suitable for him, so I didn't ask him to change his cultivation method. Dao Yuan's talent in refining is very good. In the future, he will be able to bring our treasured cauldron sex refining method to greater heights. My personal disciple is his younger brother, and he cultivates our sex cultivation method." On the top of the Jewel Pagoda, a naked child wearing a red doo-doo appeared. He was only 3 inches tall, and there were 2 sky spikes on his head. Chapter 704. Ancestor Linglong jumped from the top of the Linglong Pagoda to Wang Daoyuan's head and knocked on his forehead with her small hand. She then stood up and clasped her hands behind her back, acting like an old man. "This junior is not bad. Your body is strong enough to not embarrass our lineage. Junior, I can sense the aura of 6 types of spiritual fire in your body. Let me see what kind of spiritual fire they are." Wang Daoyuan had already exposed 5 of the 6 spiritual fires. Only the dust-returning flame had not been exposed. After all, it was not used much in battle, but its corrosive ability was too powerful. It was very valuable for digging holes and opening secret passages. It would be easy to be targeted if he took it out. Besides him and Xueqi, no one else knew about the dust-returning flame. However, there was only his master and the weapon spirit here, so it was not a big deal. He drew out a wisp of the 5 elemental spiritual fire and the Scarlet Phoenix Nirvana flame for Ancestor Linglong to check. Ancestor Linglong opened her mouth and swallowed the 6 rootless flames, then smacked her lips and tasted them carefully. She then said, "There is a special taste in your spiritual fire. It is much better than Junior Lei Yan's Purple Thunder Divine Flame. Junior Lei Yan, when you die, pass the Linglong Pagoda to Dao Yuan. I still like to eat his spiritual fire. Junior Dao Yuan, give me some more." Wang Daoyuan sighed inwardly. She doesn't look like an ancestor at all. With her appearance and her gluttony, she is clearly a child of 2 or 3 years old. He drew out some more spiritual fire and gave it to Linglong. She ate for half an hour before patting her belly and lying on Wang Daoyuan's head. During this time, Daoist Cloud Crane and the others also came to check. However, before they entered the main hall, they sensed Ancestor Linglong's aura. Knowing that the weapon spirit had awakened, they did not dare to disturb and left happily. With Daoist Cloud Crane's strength, he could suppress the strongest demon, Lei Mo, without the Linglong Pagoda. Now that the weapon spirit of the Linglong Pagoda had awakened, it used to be a 7th grade magic weapon. Even though he was only at the lower 5th grade, the strength he could unleash was not something an ordinary Yuanian cultivator could compare to. After eating her fill, Ancestor Linglong lazily said to Thunderflame Daoist, "Junior Thunderflame, why don't you pass my true body to Dao Yuan right now? His spiritual fire is too delicious. I'll stay here with him from now on." Daoist Thunderflame also had a helpless look. "Dao Yuan, why don't you help Master nurture it for a period of time first?" Wang Daoyuan didn't want to agree. With an old monster that had lived for tens of thousands of years living in his body, what secrets could he have? The matter of the spiritual pearl space was probably going to be discovered by this guy. The most important thing was that he couldn't offend this little ancestor. He was still counting on him to help deal with the demon race. Seeing the awkward look on Zhang Xian's face, before Lei Yan could say anything, Exquisite spoke up in displeasure. "What's wrong? Looking down on the ancestor? I was nurtured by your first-generation ancestor, and it has been more than 100,000 years since then. I didn't live for 100,000 years in vain. Just a few words of advice from me would be enough for you to enjoy boundless benefits." Wang Daoyuan took out the meteoric flame controlling gourd. Who doesn't have any secrets as an immortal cultivator? Now that you're here, I'm afraid I don't have any secrets left. How about this? I'll store the spiritual fire in the gourd. As long as you pour in spiritual energy, it will continue to produce rootless fire, and you'll have something to eat. Only after Lei Yan helped persuade her did Ancestor Linglong relent. "Forget it. No matter what, you're still my junior. I won't make things difficult for you. This gourd can increase your strength. If you want to deal with the demon race, you can't do without it. When you have time, just give me more spiritual fire. I've just awakened, and haven't recovered much of my strength. Give me a few months first. In these few months, Daoyuan, give me more spiritual fire to eat." Wang Daoyuan naturally didn't have any objections. Rootless fire was no different from ordinary spiritual energy to him. For the next half a year, Wang Daoyuan's mission was to provide food for Ancestor Linglong. Linglong also understood the principle of being soft-spoken. If Wang Daoyuan didn't understand anything about cultivation, she patiently explained it to him. Especially in the area of minor divine abilities, she gave Wang Daoyuan a lot of pointers. Linglong's growth was extremely fast, and the fluctuations of law on her body were not inferior to Lei Yan's. Lei Yan had divine abilities, and his fluctuations of law were far superior to that of ordinary Yuanian cultivators. After such a long time, the injured cultivators had long since recovered. However, the same couldn't be said for the demon race. Blood demons could absorb the essence blood of vicious beasts to quickly recover, but soul-devouring demons didn't have this ability. Even though the demon race had many healing methods, they lacked the resources to do so. The demon race wasn't a life form of this world. Ordinary healing spirit medicines weren't of much use to them. Last time, she was burned by the purple gold thunderflame, and then whipped by Wang Daoyuan's dragon tail. It would take at least a few years for her to recover. Now was the best time for the humans to strike. Lei Yan also summoned the 4 sect masters to discuss the matter of attacking Sky Devil Valley. After the 4 arrived, Cloud Crane asked, "Senior brother Lei Yan, to what extent has ancestor Linglong recovered?" Lei Yan stroked his beard and smiled. "Even without anyone controlling her, ancestor Linglong's strength is no less than mine. If I control the purple gold pagoda, I should be able to deal with 4 Yuanying demons at once." Hearing this, everyone's face lit up with joy. The demon race had caused such a huge ruckus that the humans were in great danger. Who would have thought that they would be stronger than the demon race now? Lei Yan alone could deal with 4 demons. So what was a half-crippled soul-devouring demon? More than a dozen half-step Yuanying cultivators and 6 legendary magic artifacts were taking turns to fight. Many of them had nothing better to do. After discussing the battle strategy, half of the late-stage Golden Core cultivators stayed behind to guard the base, while the rest boarded the flying warship and headed for Sky Devil Valley. Outside Sky Devil Valley, Lei Yan said, "Dao Yuan, it's time for you to shine again." The sect masters of the 4 great sects also looked at him. Wang Daoyuan was a little confused. "What do you mean? I don't often bicker with others." Cloud Crane smiled. "Capable people are always busy. Martial nephew Dao Yuan, for the sake of the human race." Wang Daoan hurriedly waved his hand. "Forget it, I'll just go and scold them." Lei Yan handed the purple gold pagoda to him. "Take the pagoda with you. Even if the Yuanying demons ambush you, it'll keep you safe." Wang Daoyuan put away the pagoda and left the flying warship, flying 300 miles to the north of Sky Devil Valley. He shouted into Sky Devil Valley, "You cowards of the demon race, listen up. I want a mount. If you give me a Yuanying demon, I'll let you go. I'll say this first, the soul-devouring demon won't do. It's skinny and small. It's embarrassing to ride it. Bone demon and blood demon are good. They look very impressive. Ice demon would be even better. Not only can it be a mount, but it can also warm the bed. I just don't know if it can warm the bed." As soon as he said this, the human cultivators burst into laughter. The cultivators of Wind Snow Deity Palace were a little embarrassed. Ling Long rolled around in the pagoda laughing. As expected of the descendants of the treasured cauldron bloodline, "You have the demeanor of your first ancestor." When Wang Daoyuan scolded, he also used some of the tiger roar soul-subduing technique. Everyone within a few thousand miles could hear him clearly. In a cave in Sky Devil Valley, the demons were furious. Ice Demon was so angry that her face was red. The soul-devouring demon cursed in his heart, but he didn't dare to speak. He was already embarrassed when he was sent flying by a tail. Bone Demon scolded, "Blood Abyss, didn't you say that he's dead for sure and that even soul formation cultivators can't save him? How could this brat still be alive and kicking? Is the bloodthirsty heart-shattering blade of your blood demon bloodline trash?" Blood Abyss slammed the table and stood up. "I'll kill him," Emoting said. "Don't be rash. The humans didn't have the upper hand when they fought with us. Now that they dare to come here, they must be confident. Maybe the purple gold pagoda has recovered to the 5th level. Even if the 5 of us attack together, we still won't be able to take him down. Those half-step Yuanying demons are not to be trifled with." You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.